Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's a wonderful night. It's a Tuesday night, and now it's for Into the Nightmare.
It's
We
a
are
wonderful night
down
in
a
the inn
player.
now. It's a wonderful night in the inn now.
A new song.
Unfortunately.
Sung to you by Vaughn.
At a very inopportune time, the cleric is gone.
Yes, we are. We are sadly
I'm not
down.
crying, you're crying.
Yeah, we are all crying. Faye needs some rest, so we're going to let her have some rest. And I will do a little RP to show you what happens to Mix and Nix in the meantime. But they are down a cleric for tonight, and we should be fine for the story.
We're all gonna die.
I mean,
Or we're going,
maybe not
we don't
players.
need heals.
Sacrifice the robot.
Sacrifice the robot.
Sacrifice the... Never mind. Don't sacrifice the child.
I mean, he wants your brain. You're the... anyway, won't get into spoilers. Let's continue.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sad news for tonight. Happy news, tomorrow is playing with Mutts. You'll get to see more of the two
Hey.
of us.
I think we're taking on the boss tomorrow. The final.
Yeah, I think
Last
we
one.
are.
That or more Locks training.
Or more lunch training. Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, we'll have fun. And then, yeah. Then you have Thursday, and nothing's going on that day. And then you have Friday, which is
Shenanigans.
Here Be Shenanigans. Yes, Here Be
Yes.
Shenanigans. I always want to say
Psychonauts
Into
2.
the Shenanigans for some odd reason.
It's because you've got into the
Into-
nightmare, into the madness. Something about intos with you is it's a
Yeah.
thing. It's a thing.
I like getting into things. Anyway,
That's what she said.
and
Anyway.
of course,
Well, maybe. Do you? If you're into that, I'm not.
That's
Hey,
what
don't
we're
kink shame.
into.
Nobody
You and
kink
me,
shame.
him and you.
We
by
no,
the
we king
fridge
same in this
with
house.
the
Bad
food.
luck.
100%, we king same in this house.
Shall we move on? This is what happens when Mixie's gone, and it's left to the
she
lads.
can't keep us following.
When mom's away, the boys will play.
That were context.
Scary.
Carry on, please, Vaughn. Carry us on.
The important days, Saturday and Sunday. We have Nightbane on Saturday, and we have Tales of Andrea on Sunday. So yeah, stay in tune. Keep an eye on our socials, and we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. That's it for anything for me. Anything I missed, or shall we continue?
It is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gales and floods. But if not, at least. It is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter we had in gale.
Oh dear.
So, what happened there, Murray? Let's
I don't wanna talk about it.
discuss what was that? I'm sure
That was,
everyone watching would like to know what
I wish that was a
mistake did you
misclick.
make.
I wish it was a misclick. but it wasn't. That was me thinking I got the wrong screen, because I've been typically getting the wrong screen and then going to the wrong screen as a result. So, yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. That's my fault. I might be bothered to fix that in post. But then again, I'm lazy.
Also, this conversation would not
make any sense. So...
Yeah.
So you got to do a lot. You got to take just a chunk out. Let's just talk for 5 minutes. That way he has to take like a big chunk out of the street. No. Anyway.
Dungeon Master takes us away.
Yes. Please.
So, where we left off a couple of weeks ago was you guys had just left the office, having learned that it was a mind flayer / illithid that had killed the gnome in the office. Mixinix had just shielded up the back of her head, and you all started to feel like you were being watched.
Yeah. Did we roll initiative last week?
No, we did not. I was going to make you do a perception check, but I decided I'm not going to make you do a perception check. Instead, I'm just going to explain to you guys what's happening. So, as you guys are standing at the doorway to the office, across from it, you can see that what is on the wall looks like a massive rotating metal device. It's a fan. You hadn't noticed it before because it's basically part of the wall. It's huge, and it just kind of looked like another machine.
Well, given the scenario and given what I'm seeing, I would like to do an Arcana check.
Go ahead.
Because I don't understand how these things are moving. My first thought is magic.
It's not currently moving, just so you know.
Well, the other sounds and hisses and buzzes, though.
Yeah.
Are any of the machinery moving?
Yes, the rest of the machines are all operating as normal. In fact, currently Smasher's over there with them, maintenancing them.
Well, that would be a 28.
Yeah, they're not magical.
Go ahead. Can I roll a perception?
Go ahead.
I know I'm being watched.
Yeah.
That is going to be a 25.
25. All right, you notice that that fan at the other end of the room, it does actually have cracks that go through to beyond the wall. Like something could come through it. And while Mixinix had activated her ability to sense magic, she had turned it down. I think she'd stopped it to bless you guys.
She did, yeah.
But she hadn't noticed anything magical over there due to the fact that it was beyond a sheet of metal. I had checked the spell to make sure that was the case.
That is the thing, isn't it? Crap.
As it so happens, you see something crawling out from between it.
Okay.
And it stands up. And the first thing it does is wave its hand, and Mixinix falls into a hole that appears at her feet, of which the hole very suddenly disappears. Just as fast as it appeared. Now you get to roll for initiative.
All right. Let's see.
Oh boy.
After watching that video that Ben sent, I think I have what could be the best set of dice in that video, you know?
The good kind.
In the descriptions, yeah.
Ah, yes, good sounds.
Here we go.
Sorry about that. I left my dice in the other room.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Just Shane, what did you roll?
19.
19? Callus?
I haven't even rolled quite yet. That's the problem with having too many things on my side to take care of.
That's true. That is very true.
Send that down a bit. See, there we go. Oh, jeez. Cheese and my biscuits. 5.
5. Smasher.
Straight into...
With a final result of 3, I rolled a natural 1.
Oh my
dear.
goodness.
Great way to start this combat without the cleric.
Deshane, what was yours?
19.
Okay, we're doing
He,
fine. We're fine. He's gonna
he
one-shot
did
it anyway.
roll-
It's okay.
Probably
Absolutely
not.
amazing. So, go ahead, Deshane. You get to go first. This thing does not look like it cares what you guys are. It looks hungry. It looks like it wants to eat you. It is vaguely humanoid. I say vaguely because it looks more like a skeleton right now. But you can tell that its face, even at this distance, yes, that is quite the distance. But its face is a squid face, and it seems to be drooling. Like it looks hungry, and it's not looking at you. It's looking directly at Callus.
No, of course it is. Oh no.
Hey, can I use? This is a very undeshamed. It may seem that way. Can I use my bonus action to see if there's a switch to turn that fan on?
Yeah. Roll an investigation for me. You would actually know what that is, too.
Yes, I would. There are machines in my world. 16.
And the switch is over here. It actually says fan on it, too. In common.
Does it have a suck or blow option?
I'm sorry, what?
Does it have does the fan turn one
the
way
fan.
and suck in or blow?
It looks like it only operates in one direction, and you're not exactly sure whether that's suck or blow.
I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna use my action to shoot that fucking button and turn on the fan. This
All right.
cat is trying to get in this room so hard she's banging on the door. Okay, let me roll an attack. Hold on.
Just throwing its head
Okay.
against it.
I love cats.
24 to hit.
All right, that's gonna hit the switch. Roll for me damage.
Híjole. $14.
14. All right, you do not absolutely destroy the switch. It is actually made out of sturdy stuff. This does turn it on, and your immediate notice is these fans have clearly been off for some time. There's a grinding noise, a really, really high-pitched screech. Like, it makes you feel uncomfortable, but see, the thing is, you're a good distance away from it, so you only get the reverberating sound. That creature is right next to that sound, and it clearly it just drops the creature. He did, like, it hurts him to hear that sound so close. And then the fans just start to rotate slowly, and then something clunks, and they just start to go faster and faster and faster. And you see the creature's cloak start to billow towards it. And do you have any other actions?
No capes!
No capes.
Capes.
I do because I have 2 attacks. Technically, does that count as an attack? Yeah, cool. All right.
That was an attack, yes.
Okay, I'm shooting this thing right in the center of its forehead
Nice.
with a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty
With that
20 is
plus
going to hit.
9.
How much damage?
14 again.
Oh, you're going to notice something strange. The bullet doesn't make contact with flesh. It hits, and you don't see him even react, but you do see a blue spark emanate from off of where you would have struck him right in the forehead. And an almost, well, actually, it would be very visible field of energy is reverberating around his form now.
Okay. Well, that's both my attacks and my bonus action, so that is my turn. I'm gonna deal with this cat. Give me 1 second, please.
Go for it.
And by deal with, ladies and gentlemen, he means he's gonna let it in the room so it stops pounding its head against the door.
I thought he was going to eat it.
No.
Yummy. it'll just take possession of his consciousness because cats have 9 lives.
Right. It'll basically its presence in him will eat its soul, eat his soul, and they'll become one. We're talking about eating your
Whose
cat.
turn is it
Oh, yeah.
next?
Yeah.
It's the Mind Flayer's turn next. The
Oh,
Illithid
crap.
is now going to go.
Oh no.
You see him actually struggling though, and he takes 1, 2, and 3 steps, and then he has to go down to all fours to drag himself 1 more step. Let's see if he gets close enough with that.
Oh, hey.
He did not get close enough.
Do you know what I didn't think about? Roll 20.
Oh yeah, you're not currently in roll 20.
No,
actually.
we're not. It just
just
occurred
realized
to me,
this.
like, we're in combat. I went straight to it and was so excited. Let's show this beautiful map you just made. Here we go. Okay.
Awkward. Oh, well, it's gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna have to adjust a few things. Sorry about that, folks.
That is okay. Suffice it to say, it is 5 feet short of reaching you, Deshane, and as a result, it cannot actually do what it was intending to do. That was a good round of combat. However, the shimmering that was around it solidifies and then disappears, and you see no energy. And it is now... actually, Smasher, make a perception roll for me because of where you're located.
That would be a 23.
Oh, nice. Actually, that's
19
pretty
on the
good.
die.
Nice. You hear the door that you guys had all walked through close. The sound of something locking in it. Then it opens again. And standing at the door, if I can get to him. Excuse me.
That's mildly discomforting.
There you are. Token layer. Is another robot that looks very much like you. The biggest difference you notice is he's more sleek. He has a cloak that seems to hide a lot of his form and a hood that's up. And as he enters in through the doorway, he closes it again behind him, and you can tell that what he walked through was not the same hallway that you guys had walked through to get here. It is now
I don't
Callus's
think we're in
turn.
Barovia anymore. Right, with that terrible joke, I am going to do the thing. It's same day. It's been a while since I've drank another potion. I would like to... This individual in front of me. What does it... do they look like they have any melee weapons of any kind?
No.
No? Okay. Well, crap attack. I will do the best thing I know. I'm going to step in front of wonderful Deshane here. Turn myself into a beautiful basilisk. Excuse the typing, everyone. There we go. Which I'm just getting the size of the creature. Medium, so same size. Stare at the thing, growl at it. If it's looking at me, on the start of its turn, it's going to need to make a Constitution saving throw, but that's on the start of its turn. For my last little bit, for the bonus action, I will cast Sanctuary on Deshane.
Does that do again?
If they attack you, they need to make a Wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they can redirect it to a new target, or they lose the attack.
Come here, boy.
Come here, boy.
Push this thing into that fucking fan.
Do you want me to put a basilisk token on the ground for you?
If you got one. I think we do
I
have one,
do.
actually. Holy crap.
Do you have a preference for color?
Oh, I don't think so. Probably a blue
Okay.
one if you got it.
Oh, hello,
That's a
you
bit
beautiful
big.
beastie. There we go.
We
Look at
can
that.
just shove this into the GM layer and put this right here.
Oh.
And then I can give you...
This is super awkward.
Where are you?
Fortunate. I'm actually in. This is the
You.
wrong person too. Ladies and gentlemen, I completely forgot about Roll20 today, and I am signed into the wrong account.
did you sign into the same account I'm currently logged into?
Uh-huh. So, yep.
Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, there you go.
There we go. Now this makes sense. Perfect. There you go, everyone. That's the right account. Yay, it's me!
Aha! Perfect.
I'm
Right, there
growling
you
at
are.
it. I'm angry at it. Arrgh.
And that's it for your turn?
That is it for my turn. I'm not going to move any
Alright.
farther.
From where you're at, you guys don't actually feel any pulling motion currently.
Perfect. Good. Let's try not to
However,
die.
you do all feel air starting to move through the whole of the factory now. All right, Deshane, or not
Good,
Deshane,
good.
Spencer, it's your turn.
So let me see here. Let me. So I think Smasher looks over. I'm assuming these little pieces that stick out of the fan, out of these machines, they're not very tall. I'm taller than them, which is why I'm seeing over them from this angle to get to
Yes.
see that guy. Okay.
Yeah, that back end there. That's about waist height for you.
Waist height. Okay. So I think I hear Deshane's gunshot go off. The order was that. Then I watched this guy come through the door, and then Callus just shapeshifted, right?
Yes.
Yep, and it's
So I think
growling in a very specific
indefinitely,
direction.
that I think very specifically then I probably am preparing for combat in general. If these two are instantly going like, "Hey, it's battle time," that's probably a bit of a trigger for me. So I'm gonna look over towards that guy, and I'd like to kind of just. Is there anything I clock off of him when he walks in, like at all?
The way his cloak is over his shoulder, you can actually see under his left arm. And you notice right off the bat, there's an embellished C with a set of runes. But unlike you, where you have 3 runes, he has 4.
He's got
And it's very obvious. It's embellished. Like it's his frame is kind of a darkish gray, almost black coloring, and that lettering is literally in gold.
I think Smasher turns his head kind of back and forth, looking at one, his allies over getting ready, knowing he should probably be over there, but 2, seeing justification in a possible secondary combatant on the field and intercepting them, and is torn between what to do. I think he knows that both Deshane and Callus are pretty strong, and they haven't asked for help. So I think I'm going to start moving out towards... I think I'm going to move out towards this other guy.
And for the other dude.
Nice.
There.
That's 1 movement. You could dash and go again. I think.
You could, yeah.
I can dash and go again. Would I be able to speak with him if I did that?
You could have at
Sure.
least yeah, you could have at
Okay.
least a sentence. And you haven't raged yet, have you? Perfect.
Haven't had the need to. I'm ready. I'm ready to. Like I'm ready to be triggered, but I haven't yet. So I think I run up as close as I can kind of get and stop and just kind of stare at him and study him. I don't really know what to say in this moment. I think he just kind of runs up, stops, and just is there waiting for this guy to make a move, make an indication, do something, say something.
The one thing you do notice is the moment you come running up, he does turn to look at you. His eyes they don't glow at all. You can see the mechanisms moving within them, but there's no glowing to them whatsoever. So if he were to be, say, in darkness and to cover his left, he would be completely invisible to most people. He does turn and look at you and also examines you in pretty much the same manner you're currently examining him. Anything with your bonus?
I don't think that. I don't know if this is an ally or not. I feel as though this might. There's no reason that this wouldn't be. There's no reason that this wouldn't be an ally, and until I feel otherwise, yeah, no, I think that's where, no, I would like to do one more thing, if you'll allow it. I think Smasher kind of looks at him and then just kind of raises his arm and turns, and just kind of shows the, towards the side, his side that has the markings on him.
Perfect. He's going to have a reaction on his turn then. All right. Back to top. It is Deshane.
You're muted.
I'm going to say to Callus, move. And then as I move this full movement of 30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, I am going to burn my action surge. That way I can shoot this thing 4 times.
Pew pew, pew pew.
Exactly like that.
How much damage is he going to do?
Let's see. No! I'm also going to...
Oh, no.
I'm going to use... I'm going to also burn a grip point for the last shot. So I get an advantage on that.
Ooh.
Okay.
First one... A 21 to hit. The second one...
Okay, hold on. There's going to be a reaction to that first one. As your shot rings towards him, he lifts a hand, and you see an arcane shield blast up and deflect that shot. All right, continue.
Okay.
He just
Second
cast
one.
shield.
Shit. Drop my dice across the room.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh no.
Plus 9. What is this math? 17 to hit on the second one?
It glances off the shield as well.
Okay. Third one. 19 to hit.
That also glances off the shield.
All right, this one's with advantage, folks. Let's see. $25 to hit.
That hits.
On the fourth one.
Yeah, that blasts through his arcane shield and hits. How much damage?
13.
13. Unfortunately, it does not blast through that other strange shield that seems to be around it. You do, however, see it like shimmering similarly to how the last time you shot it, it was shimmering. It looks like it's about burst.
Yeah, that's everything I can do.
All right. I'm actually mildly surprised he was able to survive that.
It's because I rolled like shit on those middle 2 shots.
Every single one of those shots would have hit if he had not cast shield. All right, it's his turn.
Constitution saving throw.
He is going to make a Constitution saving throw. You are correct.
Fail, baby, fail.
Natural 20.
He did not fail.
Okay. He is going to pull. You can see he's now laboring to pull himself away from this fan. He's going to pull himself 5, 10, and 15 feet. And then he is going to try again. And he is now within range.
He's attacking Deshane.
Yes.
Wisdom saving throw.
Exactly.
Give me all the
Bring
saving
it on.
throws.
17?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, that beats
real
my
high.
AC. Yeah,
Yeah,
that beats it.
that's
So-
it.
Okay, so he can
Goes through.
attack Deshane.
I could take
Okay.
it.
Unfortunately, because Deshane moved, it is not also going to hit Callus, so it's just going to hit Deshane.
Okay.
Make an intelligence saving throw for me.
Come on, gods. Give me, this is the time. This is the time to save me. That's not terrible. That's not terrible intelligence, you said? 17. 16 on the dice. Plus 1.
That is that's good. Yeah, you succeed. And you basically what happens is it's like a wall of force started coming at your brain or your mental self basically. And because of your faith in Ka, essentially, it just kind of dissipates before it can get to you. And you get a mental growl from this creature. It just growls into your brain as intimidating as it can be. Unsuccessfully, unfortunately, because it's kind of pathetic to look at right now. It is not really got a good bonus action to do, so that's gonna end up being it for this turn. All right, yeah. Let's move back up here to Smasher and the other guy. So this robot, when it sees your symboling, Smasher, you see almost realization come across its eyes. They widen kind of, and then it says to you, "You too are a creation of Cephas." That was a question.
Cephas?
Do you not know who Cephas is?
I do not know how I was created.
He suddenly looks very curious, and he will use his move action to come up to you. But he doesn't seem threatening at all. He seems intrigued, interested. That is, however, going to be his turn.
I like to imagine they walk like RoboCop does, you know, in the original movie where it's like very particular.
Yeah, he actually, when he moves, you will notice he does look like he moves incredibly precise. Like every step is a calculated and exact step. He knows exactly what he's doing when he does it.
I get it. He's better than me in every way. That's fine. I get that. That's the impression we're getting here. It doesn't make me sad at all. He's all sleek. He's the new model.
Newest model. All right, that's his turn. Callus.
So
Ah,
shiny.
bugger.
Okay, so What have we got? We've got down here. Righty-tighty. Righty-tighty-tighty.
Are you making fun of my people?
I'm always making fun of your people.
I like how this is going cutscenes back from a battle to two robots just kind of staring each other down
Having a
to a battle.
conversation.
Just like two robots staring each other down. Yeah, no, like it's dramatic down in the bottom here, and at the top it's just like.
So,
Hi.
start of my turn, Sanctuary gone.
Okay.
Oh, crap. Never mind. Actually, it's a good thing he saved on that. I keep forgetting this. If that creature I cast, because this is bad sequence, because he
Bad
rolled higher than me, it's not good. Sanctuary would have been gone because he attacked the creature. I keep forgetting about that rule.
Yeah.
It's okay. Didn't matter in the end anyway.
Hey, if the DM also forgets and it goes through, it's gonna keep going through.
Yep.
We're just gonna let it go through.
That's typically my philosophy. So we're gonna go ahead and just move. Crap. Where do I want to move?
I just told you to move. I didn't tell you any specific direction. I was just trying to get us to move away from that thing. Because I had a feeling.
I got a feeling. I am actually... Okay. Okay. I'm gonna move right there.
Huh.
With my movement, base movement, I'm then going to cast Gust. He needs to give me a strength saving throw.
Push him into the fan!
He has this at disadvantage because of the direction in which you are pushing him.
Oh, good.
9.
That fails. He's pushed 5 feet away from me.
And roll for me a d4.
I like to think of it as I run up kind of to that side point, look over and just yell as loud as I can as his basilisk while his wind just comes out. A d4. I don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Stop
That
covering
would
your
be-
mouth when you eat. Just fucking, just deep throat,
Own it. Own
whatever
it.
you deep
3.
throat the glizzy.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
3, my lord.
3, pick number 3, my lord.
He gets dragged back further than your gust initially sent him. You can see that the fan is really pulling air. And Callus, with your intellect, you would know that if you were to be within 60 feet of that, you would start to feel that pull. If you were to be within 50 feet, you would have a very hard time getting out of that pull. And the closer you get to the fan, the more likely you are to get sucked into it.
This is what we call combo work. Good job. Here we go. Here we go. Last thing I'm going to do with my bonus action is cast Expeditious Retreat on myself, because a basilisk's movement is only 20 feet.
There you go.
That is a concentration. So I'm going
He's
to...
at 20 feet, so he's probably going to die soon.
Good. Good.
Who needs a cleric when you've got a gunslinger that knows how to toggle switches with a gun?
And a spellcaster who helps.
Point and click.
Hey, well, yes, both. But if I hadn't have thought about that fan move,
True,
we'd be in for
true.
trouble.
I'm contributing, all right? He could be attacking you right now. I'm
You're getting
contributing.
more shit done. I'm getting combat. We're all working.
We're all working together
I'm
here.
contributing to this battle, damn it.
That is my turn. I have used all of my action economy. Gust, by the way, was a cantrip, for anyone who's curious.
Yeah.
Cantrip and leveled spell of Expeditious Retreat. Only reason I can do that.
Yep. Smasher, it is your turn. You have a very curious robot before you.
And up we go.
What is he?
What was that?
What is he doing right now?
He seems to be examining you. He doesn't look critical, more curious at the moment. But you can tell his curiosity isn't a oh, friend. It's more a what's wrong.
Okay. I imagine he's kind of like more or less like I mean, no, he's not moving, but he's like walking around me, like while I'm just kind of standing there and just kind of doing that examination.
Yeah, something like that.
Are you here to help?
Help? Are you the one who maintains this factory?
I have maintained this factory.
You have been?
I have.
Then yes, I am here to help. What caused you to come to this factory?
Smasher points over his shoulder in the direction of where he thinks the people are, his allies are, and where all the explosions have been coming from.
Oh, all right, perfect. We are going to... Go ahead.
I came to help.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and move on to the top of the round, because that was about 6 seconds of conversation there. Deshane.
Okay, I'm burning the last 3 grip points in order to shoot this fucking thing 3 times. Because
Okay.
goddamn it, now he's mad. Advantage on all 3. Let's go. Okay, the first one is 25 to hit. Second one.
He's still going to try to shield himself, but that one does go through.
Okay. The second one is a... Sorry, my brain's not working today. 21 to hit.
That will not go through. Yeah, it ricochets off the shield.
23?
That goes through.
Okay. So damage for 2, I'll give you one of them.
Okay. First one.
10 damage.
10 damage. The shield doesn't look nearly as damaged as it did the last 2 times you hit it, but that secondary shield that seems to be around him is shimmering. Second set of damage.
13.
13.
An 8 and a 1. Both those damage rolls I had 1-1. Oh.
Oh right, yeah, no, that one actually goes through, and you see his shoulder just spurt a little blood as the bullet enters into and hits him there, and there's a almost psychic scream in both your heads, actually in all of your heads. Smasher, you'll notice the robot in front of you suddenly turns quickly to look that direction, and 2 pistols appear in his hands. Yeah, you heard it.
Okay, I'm going to save, if I can, my dialogue option for his turn if something happens during his turn. And I end my turn.
Okay. It is going to be his turn. The shimmering does not come back. Perfect. The shimmering does not come back. Does a 19 pass?
It does.
Oh man, he's rolling well for those, but not for those.
Pain.
He actually has to make a strength saving throw too.
All the saving throws.
He actually succeeds on that one. Good,
Oh, crap.
good.
Come on.
I'm rolling well tonight.
You are. It's a little
Usually
painful.
I do.
Well, my dialogue option is probably out of the window unless he rolls a nat 1 at some point in time during this turn.
He's actually going to do, for his action, something odd. You guys see him turn and look at the fan. He reaches out with his hand, and you hear a grinding noise and then a snapping noise, and then the blade of the fan just gets ripped off of its hinges, and just metal and shards blast everywhere. Unfortunately, that hits him, so he has to make a dex saving throw now.
Screwing
Which he
himself.
fails. And he takes 14 points of slashing damage. However, there is now no longer a sucking motion. The fan has been destroyed. And he turns back and starts walking towards you guys. Specifically the basilisk. There seems to be incredible menace in his eyes. That is his turn. It is now this guy's turn. He will look at you, Smasher, and he will say, "Is something attacking the factory?"
I believe my allies are under attack.
Let's go assist them, and he will break into a sprint. And he will probably not move as fast as... Oh. No, he
Yeah,
moves as
40
fast as
speed
you
right
do.
now. Have I ever mentioned that it's impossible for me to pick up D4s? Just a random thought in the middle of the silence for a second. I physically can't pick up D4s. It's kind of crazy.
But a little difficult. You gotta do like a tilt technique.
He comes running down this way and sees the
Finger on this
illithid.
point. Finger on that point. Finger on this point. Tilt.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's not that hard. It's just the D4.
I was joking
called
because there was a
dexterity.
pause.
No, I know. I know. I'm talking shit.
No,
Anyway.
listen, it is super easy to pick up D4s. Gosh. Yeah, that's his turn. Callus, it is yours.
Fantabulous. Yum. Do. Yep, alright. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and... He's fixated on me, isn't he?
He is now, yeah.
You're tasty.
Great.
You're close.
Also,
know you.
Callus, the character, is tasty in his eyes.
He,
Just
he
saying.
hungry.
What's my radius right now? Let's see. Who would fall in this? Oh, let's see. I've got an idea. I just need to double check a few things. Alright. Great. I am potentially going to be stupid here and use my action to cast Calm Emotions. He needs to give me a charisma saving throw.
I was not expecting this. I rolled a 19 on the die. He's got a +6.
What the fuck, man? Give me something!
I know, it's...
He
it's,
succeeds!
Get that easy, boy.
not
He
working,
succeeds! Well, there's jack diddly else I can do. Now.
He does not want to be affected by anything you are throwing at him, apparently.
No, apparently not. That's charisma, wisdom, strength. All the
Strength
all the
he should not
saves.
have been able to save.
I've done all the
He should have
saves.
gone into that fan.
All the saves. And he's passed them all. Well, there's nothing else I can do, so I'm going to meet up with him right to his face and just start snarling.
You can hear a snarl coming back, and when you hear it, you get the sense that there's not much like left mentally for this guy. He's working off of instinct, a lot of it. There's still obvious intellect in him because he was smart enough to destroy the fan. He was going after Deshane, but the moment he got close enough to you, instinct took over, and he's now zeroing in on you. Smasher, it is your turn.
He just hungry. I'm gonna dash on over.
Perfect. Run on over to the robot.
Running.
There we go.
Perfect.
I'm gonna look back at this other robot, and point at the basilisk, and
That one and the one with guns are my allies.
Yeah. Nods. And then takes aim for the illithid.
and that's all I got. I can't do anything.
All right, perfect. Deshane, it is your turn.
All right, because I don't have to spend anything to reload, just for flavor, you guys hear shells hit the ground, and then chink, 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 as my bullets are refilled in one gun, and I shoot this fucking thing 3 more times. Yeah, nothing special this time around. I just burnt everything in 3 rounds.
Doesn't have very many uses of shield left, but he is still going to use it at least one more time.
26 to hit the first one.
That does hit.
Second one fucking doesn't hit. Right, second of 15. I double it.
No, it doesn't hit.
Third one. $17 to hit.
17 does not hit.
Damn it. This is the episode where I just roll like shit every other attack roll.
You've destroyed every other thing we've ever seen.
I know, god damn it. But come
So
on.
do you know what this is redemption for everyone else.
15 damage for the one shot.
There's no secondary shield that you can notice, and this connects fully with him. He takes 15 points of damage.
He says redemption for everyone else. None of my spells have worked. Where's the redemption?
Look, we don't have to talk about that, okay? I feel like you're getting bogged down in details.
It is going to be his turn, and Callus,
Con saving throw.
Yeah, he needs to make a con saving throw. This time he rolled a 2.
Yes. Good boy.
Well now, let me explain to you what happens to him. He is beginning to turn to stone and is restrained. If he fails another save, he will be stone.
That's right, he'll get stoned.
Exactly. It's a favorite thing I hear illithids love to do every now and then. Restrained restrains creatures'
I know I
speed
do.
becomes, moving on, 0, and they cannot benefit from any speed. Attack rolls against creatures have... Oh, from creatures have advantage. Ooh. And their attack rolls have disadvantage.
Yeah, attack rolls against the creature have advantage.
Yep.
Oh.
And they have disadvantage on their attack rolls. And they have disadvantage against dexterity saving throws. So,
Nice.
Get restrained.
Boyo. All right. Well, he's restrained. He can't move. He can, however, still attack you because you're right there,
He should
which he will attempt to do.
At disadvantage.
First things first, he's going to see if there's anything he can do in this sense.
Well, first things first, Peter's a realist.
Yeah. Callus,
Yes?
make a wisdom saving throw
Why wisdom?
because he's using dominate monster.
I'm not a monster.
He doesn't know that.
Then it just automatically fails.
Make the wisdom saving throw anyway.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of are right now.
I rolled a 9.
I mean, it doesn't work because you actually aren't a monster,
I go
but
with the
you do
music on my
still.
end. Sorry.
But you do still.
Me and Smasher were having a conversation.
You do still feel his attempt to take control of you as if you were a monster, because you
Smile
are
just
currently in the form of a monster.
And if he's reading
It
my
would have
thoughts,
succeeded if you were.
Oh dear, yeah. If he hears my thoughts, it's, I'm not a monster, buddy.
He did not
Give
turn
or
on
take.
detect thoughts, so
Okay.
I mean,
Currently can't hear
genetically, we know that Dr. Frankenstein was the monster, not Dr. Frankenstein's monster, and that's the way that was. But kinda
Monstrosity.
he was.
Monstrosity.
monstrosity.
It's just the monster. It's not. You should just call it the monster, and then it's Frankenstein. That's the way to get past that. You know, misconception.
So yeah, he's going to attempt one last thing because that did not work.
Devastating.
Yeah, he's going to attempt to hit you with his tentacles.
Tentacruels, more like. Am I right,
24.
folks?
Was that a disadvantage?
Oh yeah, at disadvantage, you're right. Good thing that was at disadvantage. 9 does not hit you.
No, 9 does not.
Yeah, fail.
walking sideways.
And he can't move.
Yeah.
So that's his turn.
You're pinned there, boy. You're mine.
Yeah, who's next? Oh, it would be our little robot friend that just arrived. All right, so you hear 2 shots go off from behind you, Smasher. Deshane, you hear the distinct sounds of pistols being fired, revolvers being fired. Oh, geez. Really good shot. I am rolling like fire tonight, guys.
He is
Just do it in
too.
favor of us, and I'm cool with it. That's all I'm saying.
This one is in favor of you guys. Yeah, you see 2, for you, Callus, 2 spurts of blood blast off of from behind, almost behind the Illithid, and he seems to glance back and snarl in rage and fear. He is not looking good.
Yeah.
And then this guy will...
Fucking Syrinscape is just slapping with this.
hide right here.
Where's he hiding? Little coward.
He's actually using cover like a ranged fighter should.
Should.
Actually, what you guys notice is the moment he gets behind there, he seems to disappear.
No, he's a rogue. Here we go,
Yeah.
rogue range fighter.
He is indeed a rogue. All right, that was his turn. It is Callus.
Righty. So far, I'm doing well with that aspect. If only I could cast Bane right now. That would be nice. Give him minuses to his saves. I'm just gonna attack him.
Go for it.
I don't want to break my concentration on the spell I have going. And I don't want to use my action. How injured does he look?
He looks bloody.
Bloody? Okay. Well,
Yeah, you can see this kind of, it's blackish in color, and it smells not quite like iron, more like rust almost.
Weird. Okay, I'm attacking him. It's just gonna be so useless because his AC is so high.
It's actually not currently that high. He every time it comes to his turn, he loses shield.
Oh yeah, but that's +5, and if a 21 misses, that's still pretty high.
Yeah.
We're attacking anyway with a natural. Wait, no advantage because he's. Okay.
Oh yeah, and you have advantage.
Thank
Try
you
and
for
get
my
that
own
double
eyesight.
20.
No, I got a 1.
Oh no.
So advantage is a good thing here. Fuck you, Ethan, for cursing me. I got a double 1.
Hey, that's not my fault. Your hands rolled the dice.
You cursed me. You cursed me.
Your hands rolled the dice.
You
Folks, Your Honor, let the evidence show
chill
that the
definitely
defendant
runs
rolled the
down my
dice
spine.
with his own hand.
And this boy? Yeah, that guy?
Sure.
Yeah.
With advantage.
With advantage.
advantage.
Double 1s.
Not even disadvantage, like with advantage. Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad.
Your
Not a
Honor,
thing, I
I'd
go
like
in
to
for
call.
a bite and bite my tongue.
I'd like to call character witness Vaughn to the stand. No, I'm sorry. Continue.
Anyway, yeah, so you do miss, and you do feel that chill run down your spine. And when you miss and you feel that chill, you also notice there's now a distinct, palpable scent of fear coming off of this illithid.
In that case,
almost like it noticed that chill run down your spine.
I am going to move around him to this side.
Boxing him in.
Yes. Try to box him in a little bit. Snarling the whole time. Just...
Does this effect still work on him, like for con saves if he can't see you?
If he can't see you, no. He will still have to make a con save to stop being restrained though next turn.
The effect has landed. He needs to save against the effect now.
Yeah.
So I
now
can
it's
spend a
control,
turn being
so-
out of his sight.
Also, Deshane might want to start blinking hard.
Yeah, Deshane, you might want to start blinking hard. I am now gazing your
Facing you.
direction. This is a little.
I
bit
have
of a
like fucking
crawl
tunnel
around a little
vision.
bit.
I'm a
Still
gunslinger.
too-
All I see is the sights on my barrel and my target. Everything else just goes.
You have to look at the basilisk in the eyes, or is it the light being refracted from the basilisk into your eyes, wherever, whether or not you're focusing on it? See, this is a philosophical question about what
It's a
basilisks really are.
It
it's a
says
physics question.
anyone
not just
is
a
looking in the
philosophical. It is a
direction
physics
of-
question.
The only way they can avoid making the saves is if they divert their eyes. But then again, it's also in reference to attacking the basilisk itself. And the mind flare has been focusing on me, so it's having to be making those saves. But it can take disadvantage on its attacks and everything if it wants to avert its gaze.
Yep.
So that's what I can
yeah.
do with my turn. There's nothing else. I've cast my
Right.
bonus action spell. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I have any
Boxed
others.
in.
Boxing,
Doing
boxing,
a drum
boxing,
beat.
boxing. Oh, you know what?
Smasher.
Hang on.
Oh wait.
No, it's. You know what? Yeah. Why not? I'll pull a Deshane here. I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself.
Oh.
He seems interested in me. It's a bonus action to cast,
Nice.
and it doesn't take concentration. So,
No, it's just a cast.
yep,
All right. You have sanctuary on yourself.
yep, sweet. Here we go.
All right, Smasher. Now it's your turn.
Smasher runs in. Smasher's gonna go ahead and use a raid. That's action there. And my roll for that is a 5. Okay, so whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll before your rage ends, that creature takes 1d6 force damage as magic lashes out in retaliation.
Nice.
I love that one.
That's a good one.
And then I'm gonna smack him a couple times because I got double attack.
Do it.
Well, I'm gonna do it recklessly though, because I want him to kind of hit me so that I can use my feature. No, it doesn't matter. Metagame. Doesn't matter. So that's a 17 plus.
Was that with advantage? Nice.
Yeah, the first roll was a 2.
Oof.
So 20. 23.
23 is going to hit, even if he throws up shield, which he's not going to do because he is still smart enough to know that Deshane is more likely to kill him if he gets hit. Which he's probably going to die here. So second attack.
That's 13 damage.
Ooh, nice.
Reckless is only on one. Is not on the entire attack action. It's just on
You
one
have
attack.
advantage always.
It's the entire
Yeah.
turn.
Okay,
It's the
cool.
entire turn.
Yeah.
And you also have advantage anyway.
Same thing. 17. So 23.
That hits.
9 damage. This is all radiant, by the way.
Eat this thing.
I almost said it. Callus. Because of the music you picked.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so by what means would you like to proceed?
I imagine my first slash comes in and slashes deep, and as it kind of looks back up at me, like just kind of slowly turning to stone, tilting its head, I imagine it's starting to get brittle. I turn my axe sideways and just smash straight down, trying to turn it into a puddle.
Make a strength check, strength roll for me. Not a check, an actual straight roll, like a strength roll.
You're raging, so at advantage too.
Oh yeah.
I love barbarians.
Just straight up. 18?
18. All right, yeah, you do cave his head in pretty good. You crush his whole body. Like, he wasn't very muscular by any means, and he clearly had been weak for some time. So you do crush his body, and you squish a lot of his head and whatnot. You don't completely destroy him, though. He is dead. Very dead. And that is going to end combat for now, because this guy is not currently hostile towards you. And
I don't like the way you said currently.
Neither do I.
He does come out from behind his little hidey hole.
Of
And
which I
you guys get
spin around and start growling while circling behind the back of Smasher. Like,
Gallus, friends, say maker.
You do notice now. I'm told.
I take and lift my arm up and I show Callus and I point back to him. Same.
And he does the same thing. You see him lift his arm, and there's that gold embellished C with several runes. There's where Smasher has 3 runes after the C. This guy has 4.
Ooh. I change back to my little child self, run up to him, A little faster than usual. Expeditious Retreat is 10 minutes long, and I'm going to keep the concentration on it.
Want to see me run to that mountain? Want to see me do it again?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's get up to him. Whoa! Have I seen these symbols before?
Let me go ahead and write these down for you and show you, and you can answer that question for me.
That, that would be a wonderful thing, but I have not studied the symbols you have sent me. I would need time to look
I
at
have
them.
the symbols.
Oh, I have them as well. I just have not studied them or memorized them, so I wouldn't be able to tell immediately. But, what is it?
First, I will show the camera.
Oui, oui. Oh, hello.
Oi.
Your yes, number.
There we go.
I'm
Is
just
that
gonna see
backwards
it
for you guys, by the way?
I think it's actually the right
No,
way.
that's the right way.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah, if I'm using other ones as a reference, yeah, it's the right way.
Okay.
I know this. I actually know those symbols. Holy, wow.
I mean, you should. You've known me for more than 13 years. I'm your brother.
More than 13 years? Excuse me.
So then
I
he
hate
and
to do
I
this, but
share.
I really have to pee, so I reloaded
share a
my
symbol.
guns. I will be right back.
Okay. What were you saying, Smasher?
He and I share a symbol.
Yes. The second one in his name. Oops.
Yeah, first in mine.
First in yours, second in his.
While he's showing me them. Hey, by the way, my name's Callus.
He will look down at you, Callus, and then he will say, I am the collector.
Do you have a number?
I do not have a number.
Oh. Well.
My designation is collector.
Mixie!
She has not returned.
Where'd she go?
Have you lost a member of your team?
Yeah, she was standing on the ground, and then that thing, well, the illithid, it just kind of did this wavy hand motion, and then she disappeared into the ground, and now she hasn't returned yet. Now that it was gone. I thought it was just a banish, but the concentration never dropped when it died, so it's not a banish. What is it?
The robot seems to shake his head in confusion. He also doesn't seem to have fully followed everything you said, as he got distracted looking back at the illithid that you called an illithid, and he approaches the body.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I know what happened to Mixie?
Yeah, go for it.
As you do that, I say, "There's a trap door meant for her," and you hear zzz, and I reholster both my pistols.
It's not my night. I rolled a 3 for a total of 14.
14. Actually, that is high enough for you to know what happened. It was not a banish. It was more like a gate was opened and she was dropped. So she is somewhere else currently with no actual means to get back to you currently. Yeah,
find
basically. You, Deshane, you notice him holstering his 2 pistols. And as he approaches the illithid, he kind of punches down towards the ground, and a blade shoots out of his arm. And he reaches down and removes what's left of the head of the illithid from its body, and then takes a sack that's been hanging from behind him. And as you're saying, wait, he's putting the head in the sack.
That's what I'm telling you. I was like, wait, I need a tentacle.
Insight, investigation, or perception to study his guns.
Investigation for studying his guns. Okay. He rips a tentacle off and hands it over to you, Callus.
Thank you.
Do you also collect?
Yeah, I collect a lot of things. You want to see?
Possibly. And then he puts the head in the bag. And he gives you a nice good look over, Callus. What did you roll, Deshane?
A dirty 20 with a 19 on the die. A +1 for investigation.
Nice.
Hey!
You, from what you can tell about pistols, these pistols are completely normal. They're just revolvers. There doesn't seem to be anything about them that's off or different.
Are they like cults where? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe like your generic ones, the ones that you'd probably be given for your first time out.
Okay.
While he's looking you up and down, Callus, you get a tingly feeling as you notice he uses magic to also scan you.
You just cast Identify on me?
I did.
Well,
And then he looks over at Smasher and he goes, I thought you were damaged, but now I am not sure. Are the three of you custodians? Yes, damaged.
I haven't figured that out either yet.
Seems to work fine to me.
Then you haven't
I
been paying
maintenance the
attention.
equipment here.
I ignore what Alice just said because I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, appropriate.
I maintenance the equipment here. Just now.
Are you not the custodians of the place itself, though?
I help.
He looks
No,
confused for a
We're
moment.
just travelers. We don't know how we got here or why.
He seems to nod. While he is a robot, you do notice that he actually comes across more alive to you than you would expect from a robot. He nods to you, Deshane. Go ahead.
I'm gonna cast Identify on him.
Go for it. But he nods to you, Deshane, while Callus is casting Identify.
I'm gonna do it
and says,
ritually.
I had
I'm just
suspected.
gonna walk around, writing pieces of paper, speaking in a language no one understands, looking him up and down.
Which one?
Well, you know which one. The one that no one will understand.
The one that no one understands.
I'll type
I
it out in
don't.
a message to you.
I'm pretty sure this one doesn't know what it is either, because he doesn't have that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. No one understands that one. While you do that, he pays you no mind. And he focuses in on you, Deshane, and you start to feel a tingling feeling as he looks you over. And he goes, I had thought you were not custodians, though maintenance here is much appreciated. Then he turns and looks back at the fan that's now completely ruined inside its casing. And he says, however, this facility may very well be finished. And he turns to the door of the office and heads that direction.
Smasher just, for some reason, feels inclined to like fall in line and follow.
I'm following. Following until I finish my spell.
How long
I'm
does
last
the
in
ritual
line.
take?
10. 10
10?
minutos.
Okay. Yeah, when he walks in, he sees the body of the gnome, but not the head, because Callus currently has the head.
Yeah.
And he walks up to it and he goes, a shame. This facility provided a lot of materials for Cephas.
Who is Cephas?
He looks up at you, Smash, and goes, your maker. My maker.
See?
Our maker. See.
I'm not familiar with Cephas.
You may yet be damaged.
Smasher just looks at Callus for a second. Just kind of stares at him.
You did not tinker it, did you?
He is not speaking in a language you can understand. If anything, it sounds like he's just saying nonsense.
The child may have tinkering.
I am not the one that fixes. I am the collector. And as such, I cannot fix you. However, I can collect you should you desire fixing.
I don't believe I am broken.
Then
Am I?
you see him seem to do that thing you do when you're processing something. And he goes, "We have written you off as not damaged." And he turns back to the corpse and shakes his head again and goes, "Shame. Oh well." And then he walks out of the office. When he walks out of the office, he looks back at the fan again. And he sits there thinking for a moment.
That exhaust, these machines can't run.
Oh, this building will heat up, and they will eventually overheat and possibly explode.
Should we fix this?
Unless you have a way to fix that, I say. And I kind of go like that with my head towards the fan.
Yeah,
And then I say, we have to shut them down.
he will actually start to walk over to the fan and investigate it. And if anyone else would like to make an investigation sans Callus, because he's casting a spell, go ahead.
My passive is 18.
That's true. Which is actually better than what he rolled. So.
My active was 18. I have a plus 0, but I rolled 18. I've got really good rolls today. Okay.
Nice.
What kind of roller would it be?
If you're looking at what he's looking at, it's basically an investigation. However, you don't have
I'm
to.
looking at him. I'm looking at the way he moves.
Insight.
So what would that be? Insight?
Yeah.
I should have just went with my passive because it's one more. 13.
Right. He gives off a feel as if he is in trying to fulfill an order that has more than one part, and right now part of that order is to make sure this facility is functioning. However, even with your passive of 18, Callus, you can tell there's no fixing this fan.
It's broken, no bother.
You also, Smasher, notice that there's definitely no fixing this fan, because you also rolled an 18. Yeah, he will instead turn to you, Deshane, and Smasher, and say, does this child often speak in strange voices while circling you?
These are weird.
This would not be the first time.
And then he will turn and look at the machines. They do need to be shut down. There is no continuing the operations of this facility without the exhaust. And he will proceed to start shutting the machines down. You see him walking over to knobs and nozzles and turning them to off positions, which is going to take a while. Your identify is going to go off before he gets done, Callus.
Oakley dokley.
Are you going to assist, Smasher?
Yeah, I think at this point, I kind of know, I've gotten to know the machinery, so kind of watching his lead on how he's actually controlling it and turning it down. I'm just kind of following what he's doing and mimicking things.
Okay.
I'll work on the second.
I
3 full machines. Go ahead.
I go to the third machine that's still running while they're shutting down the other ones. And I'm going to put my hand on the side of it, on the side of the main part of the machine. And I'm going to have a moment because most of the machines from my world are broken down and rusted. And it's just one of those things of hearing the thum, 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 thum in the machine. And I'm just going to admire it for a little bit,
Perfect. All right, Callus. Before he's done with the first machine, your identify goes off. You can tell there is quite a bit of magic emanating from this entity. His guns are not magical. However, he has some illusion magic that seems to come from his cloak. But you also can tell, because you've been circling him and watching him and whatnot, you can tell that his cloak is actually a part of him. It comes from his chassis, essentially. And the spell that's on the cloak is also on his chassis.
What's the spell?
Which is, it's...
Hang on.
It's kind of...
I need to make sure I get that detail with the spell. I think I would if it's part of him.
Yeah, I think...
2 minutes. Yeah. It's properties and how to use them.
Properties and how to use them.
Magic
it is a form of illusion, the spell illusion, where it seems to be bending not the light around him, but the shadows around him, causing them to engulf him whenever he's in the shadows. It's clear that this spell's not normally used in this manner, but someone has locked it to be used as an essentially shadow cloak. Speaking of, is illusion... Yeah, smiles, yeah. There's programmed illusion and minor illusion. This is basically the cantrip minor illusion.
Okay.
Being used in a very, very particular way.
It's pretty cool.
He looks over at you as he's turning knobs, and he asks, "Where do you come from?"
I don't know. I
You
don't come
seem-
from here. I can tell you that much. This weird four-eyed cat brought me to a different place, and then I met these people, and now I'm here.
He doesn't seem to react to the mention of the four-eyed cat. However, he's not looking at what he's doing. He's looking directly at you, Callus. And his hands are still moving, doing the actions and whatnot.
Without looking at his hands while still looking at him, I go,
Adapt.
Adapt?
Adapt. E instead of A. Common
Adept.
language. It's really difficult to say. As in, you're adept at doing that.
Oh. He looks back at the machines and then looks back at you and he goes, I have been around machines my entire existence.
Been around chemicals my entire existence.
Is that how you have learned to change your form?
Yeah.
This is a trick Cephas would like to know.
Who is Cephas?
He is the one that made me.
Well, he made you. That's nice. What else does he make?
The collector seems to sit there thinking for a second, and he goes, in his many, many years of existence, he has made everything.
That doesn't compute quite correctly because he didn't make me.
Well, no, not everything in existence. He has made everything he can make.
Oh. Can you introduce us?
The eyes seem to grin. There's still no glow to them. He's got no glow whatsoever on him except for the embellished gold symbolism. But you can almost feel like he smiles at that, and he says, I can. Would you like to be collected?
That really depends on what you mean by collected. Because I
I am
collect
the
a lot of
collector.
things and then I put them in my bag and then they never see the day of light ever again. In that sense, I don't want to be collected. But in a sense
Yeah.
of collected as in my name's in a guest registry book and I've signed it, yeah, I have no problem being collected that way.
Yeah, looks at you. There's no hint of amusement really to what he says, but he goes, one way or another, collection can still happen. But willing collection is never in the form of a bag.
Then okay. Collect me.
Good. You should come with me.
Okay.
But first, let's finish taking down these machines.
Okay.
He will.
Whatever he's doing, I will assist him.
All right. He will move on to the third one, at which point, Smasher, you're also done shutting down the second one. And,
So Smasher then will kind of, I'm assuming if Callus is helping him, will kind of walk up because, I mean, Smasher's kind of default position is next to Callus. So probably kind of walk up next to and watch them work for a moment. Probably taking up a lot of space, and then drop down next to Callus and just kind of like knees chest.
I was gonna say, to the point, without actually breaking concentration on helping the collector, when Smasher comes up, I would instinctively just put my hand on his leg and start pulling myself up to the platform, and continue helping the collector on top of Smasher, because it's been in the past that Smasher's been maybe a little worried about things. Smasher's my boy. I'm helping the collector, but Smasher's my boy.
Very, very confused. A little insight into Smasher. Very confused, and like, it's the feeling of it's like if you're going to like a new school, and like there's like the people who know what's going on and like have it together, and you're like on the outside, and that awkwardness of like, oh my god, there's a lot of things that I don't know right now, and I don't really know what to do with my hands. That's how he feels right now.
It takes you guys half the amount of time to shut down the third one.
I roll a cigarette. I take those strike anywhere matches.
It's a bad
And like
habit.
a goddamn Western, I
Is he within
off
10
my
feet of me?
cheek. And
How close are you to everyone?
let me hold on. Everyone move their characters to where they would be on the
Okay,
map, and
where-
I'll tell you exactly where I am.
Where's the other guy?
This is the third machine.
That's the third machine. He's there. So I imagine we would
Okay,
be like.
I would have taken a step back.
Okay, so no, that's
It's,
fine.
it's
that's
over
okay.
over where I put over here. There we go.
Yeah, my range is 10 feet on this, so I look longingly over at him, wanting to prank Deshane, but can't do it. He's too far away.
He's just a whale too far away. You are a boy again, aren't you?
I am. I'm on the back. Smasher wouldn't be able to hold a basilisk on his back.
Let me switch your tokens for you.
Oh, hey. See, I realized I was in the wrong account when you put my boy token into the GM layer, and I could still see it.
You were like, wait a second,
like-
I should be able to see that.
This isn't right.
That is hilarious, though, that two people can be logged into the same account at the same time.
I'm enjoying it so far because I have 2 different screens.
So you can actually see what I'm doing.
No.
Right.
So
Cheetah.
I can look at things
Cheetah.
without showing what I'm doing.
Oh,
To
there you
everyone
go.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another realization to that I am greatly enjoying.
Good. All right. Yeah, after you guys are done, he will turn to you guys and he will say, well, Smasher, it would seem Callus is keen on meeting Cephas. I can collect him, which means I can collect you if you would like to have a diagnostics run, and if anything is critically errored, fixed.
Reach down, pat you on the back, and say,
We both need to meet him.
Smasher's head just turns on his shoulders, kind of looks at Callus for a second, hearing him say that, and just kind of like nods. Turns his head back around, which I don't know if is normal behavior for this type of bot, but his head completely has done a 360 at this point.
just
It would be my pleasure to be collected.
Excellent. He will then look over at you, Deshin, and say, "You are welcome to join us as a guest if you would like."
That'll work, I say,
Perfect.
and I take a drag of my cigarette.
He then marches to the door you guys had originally come through, and when he reaches the door, it's closed currently. He pulls out a key from under his coat, and the first thing you guys notice about this key is it is a bunch of small gears, almost like a watch, but all these little tiny gears, some of them turning still, some of them ticking, kind of like a clock would and everything. But he adjusts them in different ways, and then he takes the key and he inserts it into the lock of the door. And you see, as he's inserting the key into the lock, the key itself adjusts its size so it fits perfectly. And he turns the lock and turns it back, removes the key, and opens the door. And when he opens the door, you guys don't see the hallway you had originally walked down. What you guys see instead is another warehouse, except this one much busier. There's robots walking around. Some of them on wheels are just wheeling around. Every single one of them has a C and some symbols on them somewhere. But the most unique ones would be Smasher and the Collector. All these other ones are boxy and generic.
As we're walking up, Smasher just has this weird feeling and starts head on swivel around where we're at, and then focuses back on Callus.
Where is Mixie?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little concerned on that, but if she went to a different level, then the likelihood is we're gonna run into each other. And that thing that Deshane's been going on off about Ka, kind of makes a little sense to me right now. I don't think Mixie Nix is done with us yet. So, if Ka's real, we're gonna run into her soon.
I swivel my head over to Collector, and
will we be able to return?
He looks over at you and he goes, "That is completely up to Cephas."
No crap. Best behavior, everyone. Will we be able to rest beforehand? I haven't slept in almost a day.
I'm sure you'll be able to rest.
Before meeting Cephas?
He turns and looks at you and he goes, "No." And then he turns and you see a very tall individual walking up to you guys.
Niter.
He has a walking stick with him, which he is not using as a walking stick. It's more like he's using it as a conductor's staff, where he is directing different robots to do different things with it. His eyes are yellow and have an almost cat-like appearance to them, where there's the pupil is more of a oval than a circle. And as he approaches to you, he smiles widely, and you can tell he is a vampire.
Do I have any feelings or any? Am I getting anything saying this man for the first time walk up to me?
Smasher, yes, actually, if you could, you would be breaking out in a cold sweat.
I think then, I think that Callus would notice, my, chassis would have a little bit of a vibration to it. Just minor. As I'm standing perfectly still watching this guy walk up.
Yeah.
If I can, then while he's walking up, I would like to quietly say to Smasher,
"You okay?"
Roll, do you want to do it so that he can't hear you while he's walking?
Yes, that is my intention.
Yeah. Roll stealth.
I'm not the best at stealth, y'all, but...
Your
Oh,
child
okay.
is
I rolled a
crazy.
12 for a total of 15.
He's right on top of me.
He actually gets distracted for a moment and is ordering a robot when you say that. However, the collector is still looking at you guys, and he doesn't give any reaction, but he definitely did hear you.
So I'm gonna say that because we've established by this point Elvish, because I don't want to say in common, just in case everyone can speak common, on the off chance that they can't speak Elvish.
Well, the collector might not be able to understand what you're saying, but
I have no idea, but
yep.
I feel like Callus would be intelligent enough to be able to do that.
Oh,
Plus
yeah,
he
definitely.
can speak Elvish.
I think that Smasher's head turns to him, and his eyes flash to X's a couple of times. But it says like warning. It says warning, but that's what 2 warnings make X's across his eyes. Just flash, 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 and then like the head just kind of whips back forward.
Okay.
This thing's a vampire, should be able to feel the silver that's still on my belt from my silver bullets. So
he's not making
magic
any
bullets
reaction
in his
to that.
gun.
Yeah.
no, but I could quick exchange.
When he does, what were you saying to Smasher, Callus?
Just asking.
You
If
okay?
he was okay. Yeah, that was the 2 X's. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, he finishes his approach, and he smiles widely again, looks at all 3 of you, and then over at the collector, and he says, I sent you to go find out what happened to our supply chain, and you come back with some interesting individuals. What have you brought me? The collector kind of just gestures over to you lot, and then he turns around and walks away.
Who wants to handle this?
Take a drag of what's left of my cigarette, and then I drop it on the ground, and I snuff it out with my boot, and I just wait.
Okay, I will.
Say my business. Feels like Smasher's business to me.
Smasher, do you have anything?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. What was that?
Smasher, do you have anything?
What did he say?
Oh, he just asked the collector who he brought him, and the collector just gestured at you guys and then walked away.
I think when he asks, what have you brought me? Naturally I just have the compulsion to announce myself.
Oh, you're muted.
You muted yourself.
I am Soldier 393, designated Smasher.
For a moment, you see his eyes kind of widen in shock.
Can I do
393.
an insight check?
Go for it.
Well, my insight bonus is apparently 0, so not built for insight, everyone. Built for Arcana, plus 11. Let's try that again. In the dice tray this time, please. 10.
10. He seems a little shocked.
Okay.
He looks you over, Smasher, and then he looks at your under your arm, sees the writing and everything, and he goes, an unfinished model as well.
Unfinished?
Fascinating.
Would that be why the
Yes.
collector had 4 and Smasher only has 3?
You are a smart little one.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good cookie.
Well, I don't know if you would taste like a cookie, but
I've
how
tried.
about you guys come and join me for a drink? And he
Um,
gestures for you guys to follow him.
Mr. Cephas? I don't mean
Yes.
to alarm you, but before I tell everyone that we should move forward,
By the way, Smasher naturally, as soon as he gestures, starts feeling like he's compelled to move forward and starts taking steps.
whoa. obviously Smasher's gonna go with you because the collector said that you made him. But I'm a little worried about Deshane and myself because Smasher's a little worried and I don't properly understand what you are.
Yeah, turns around and there's an almost glow to his eyes, amusement really, and he goes, "There was a time when I played with flesh, but I don't do that anymore.
Oh,
You two have nothing to worry about."
what do you mean by played with flesh? Because I do that.
It's a vampire kid, I say, and take a step forward past them and continue to follow in.
At that point, I think I would know well enough about vampires by reading.
By drink, do you mean blood? I experiment with it. I don't drink it.
Don't you?
He,
I say, and I don't even look back. All you see is the back of my head with the cowboy hat as I continue forward.
So as we're moving forward and following Cephas, I'm explaining the difference between what I do and eating a raw cow and eating a hamburger. Like, I'm explaining the two differences between that. Raw cow
Well, eating a raw
versus
cow or
hamburger.
drinking a milkshake.
Yeah, raw cow, milkshake. I'm drinking the milkshake. He's eating the raw cow.
So, I mean,
he is.
you got this
He's
whole
laughing
process.
for the whole reason.
So I'm just putting it into
gotta
a
process it.
sequencing matter, and yeah.
I like kind of like when you talk about like eating a raw cow, I kind of go like,
That's what he does.
"That's how you die." I say, because where I come from, all the animals are irradiated.
Oh.
He leads you guys to a building with, and by the way, when I said you guys were in a factory, you're in a factory, but the ceiling, it's like walking into a dwarven cavern. The ceiling is so far up there, you can't even see it. But you can tell you're in an enclosure. He actually takes you to what looks like a building within the factory. It kind of looks like a house, actually. He opens the door, walks in, and gestures for you guys to follow.
Naturally, I'm following. I'm literally like when he's giving orders, like it feels like top priority, and I'm kind of following him to the letter right now.
Ducking
Your
under the
programming
doorframe.
seems to be telling you. Yep. It's a cozy little place. There seems to be a modern-day looking kitchen. It's not super modern. It's more like 60s. There's no microwave. But there is an icebox, and he approaches it, opens it, and he pulls out several bottles, of which he offers each of you one, including you, Smasher.
Smash will go ahead and take it and just kind of hold on to it like he's holding it for him.
I take my bottle and I feel the cold, and I just take a second as I like turn it towards me. And I'm just like,
Yeah, what is it?
It's an amber liquid. It is sealed. There's no paper on it. It's just a glass bottle. It almost looks like brown water, but thicker. What he does is he takes with one thumb and hardly any effort whatsoever, he pops open his and just goes flying off. And you see like steam and cold and bubbles and everything. And he just takes a sip and watches you guys.
I used Gust to blow my top off.
All right. It pops off, and you get a little fizz that comes out.
you see me, I take the bottle by the neck and I put it down to my belt buckle and I pink, and then I drank it.
You are.
Smasher, do you have a mouth?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yes. So, Smasher looks over, and what generally is a light bar slit in his mouth opens up, and there's a cavity there. just kind of looks up and
It's a direct tube to his back end. It just like is a funnel directly.
there's some processing filters in there and whatnot. You have to collect the chemical energy in order to use it later.
Yeah.
I can dissect the things that come through and use it later for energy. So
They're just like test tubes that like fill up and then once they get to a certain point they just like drain back down.
if Callus ever got inside of me, it would basically be his chemistry set up like in cavities inside my body. That's exactly what it would be.
I look at.
So I think Smasher kind of looks at Cephas and then watches Callus and watches Deshane kind of open theirs up, and he just kind of stares at his and stares at Cephas. Is Cephas giving me like the look like he's expecting me to do something?
Not expecting you to, more watching to see what you will do.
And just like probably accidentally breaks the top of the bottle, just
Crunch. And there's a little bit of fizz.
What I imagine is always the take a bite off the top of your bottle.
One, two.
don't worry, something like that's coming.
He will chuckle. What you guys are drinking is Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
I was about to do a nature check to see what we're drinking.
Okay, I pull it back because I was expecting a beer, and then I go,
You got anything alcoholic?
"Is this real sugar?" Two completely different questions.
He points at you, Callus, and says, I have never had... Scratch that. In 2,000 years, I have not been able to get drunk, so I have never drank alcohol unless it has been given to me. So no. And then he points at you, Deshane, and he goes, yes. And
So
takes
you
a
guys are
long-
drinking? You guys, both of you are drinking it now, and he's kind of drinking it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he still has the feeling of like trying to fit in at this point. So he dumps his head back and opens the hole, and like pours it out because it's broken. It kind of splatters everywhere. And when it's finished going, he just kind of drops the glass bottle in his mouth and crunch, 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 and then just kind of looks around with like a little bit of Dr. Pepper's just kind of going down.
Whole time, fascinated, looking at it.
This is the first
Watching
time
him
I've
do this.
consumed anything since I've been with you guys.
Very curious.
Cephas
I'm
grins
enjoying
and says,
this DP. This Dr. Pepper.
Got that pep, yo. Where's his degree from? I don't see no PhD on that wall. Just saying.
Not yet.
Cephas will smile at this, and he will look at you, Smasher, and he'll go, yes, late enough that you have that in your system, but early enough that you're not quite finished. He reaches... Go ahead.
While he's doing anything, actually, because Callus is curious enough, at this point, he would be raising his hand to speak.
Oh,
He wouldn't be
okay.
speaking out loud. Like, quite literally just raising his hand.
Okay. Cephas, before he gets to notice that you have your hand raised, he actually reaches behind the counter and pulls out a tablet, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's a strange device to you guys. It's got a screen that seems to be glowing, and there seems to be things running on it. Then he looks up and he sees you, Cass, and he goes, yes, before you ask what you're about to ask, I actually don't have any of your names, except for Smasher's, because I know his designation, Soldier 393.
Oh,
He doesn't have a designation. I gave him one the other day of 214, but I'm not sure he's gonna take to that designation quite well. I have a designation though.
Cephas's eyes narrow and he goes, do you?
Yeah. The people who protected me at the place where I was, they called me 213.
213. He suddenly gets closer, and he is now scrutinizing you, Callus.
Mama called me Callus. And then Smasher gave me the middle name of Will. And Mixie, our friend who's missing, she gave me her last name. So I'm officially Callus Will. Oh crap! What's your last name? Shimmerpop, thank you. I wanted to say Dazzle Whizzle. I'm Callus Will Shimmerpop.
That's the middle name.
Second of the name.
Yeah, he's smiling, but he seems to not be paying too much attention to what you're saying now. And as he is getting actually uncomfortably close, he's practically touching you, Smasher, with how close he is to Callus. And you hear him just give a long sniff.
Consent.
And then he backs up.
I for the first time, I think I like come to my senses and kind of step back.
Yeah, which is about the same time he steps back from you, and he goes,
Trust me, I'm not good.
Clone?
What's that?
Tell me, boy, do you know who gave birth to you?
First thing I remember is waking up in bed.
How old were you?
I don't know. That was 8 years ago, so.
And you remember everything from then on?
Yeah, pretty clearly. Although Mama helped me a lot.
Yeah, he takes a chair from in the kitchen area and sits down in it, and then gestures to the others.
Smasher.
For you guys.
I gesture to one of the chairs as I say Smasher.
You should take
Walk over, do. And then I don't sit down in the chair. I kneel next to it so that he has a platform to sit over and sit on the chair.
I sit on the chair and then bring out a notebook and put it on the platform I usually sit on his back and start using it as a table. Like,
thank you, Smasher. You're brilliant. You're awesome. Portable table. Never would have thought of it.
I lean up against the wall.
He doesn't like to sit. Apparently his ass is useless.
Cephas will chuckle
I
at
don't
that,
even blink. I'm just looking at this guy.
He will take what looks like metal cord, and one end of it he plugs into the flat surface that's glowing, and the other end of it he offers over to you, Smasher, and compulsively you know that this, whatever it is, plugs into something under your chin.
So he's like he's holding the cord out to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like I immediately like go kind of into default mode, forgetting that Callus is behind me. I'd kind of come to my senses before, but I feel like I kind of go into a default mode, and I immediately kind of stand at attention, pull the cord, and plug it in.
Yeah, you don't actually have to stand at attention for this because he. Well, actually, no. You can stand at attention for this.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like programming kicking in, and I just like he's handing me the cord, and I stand up to where I would normally be in an at rest position and plug it in. So like all of my joints are locked up, so I can stand straight.
Yeah. He then kind of does this to you, Smasher, to see what you do.
Muted.
You're muted.
I just stand here with it in.
Okay, he goes, he then takes the tablet, and as he's looking at these things scrolling across the tablet, he's going to say to you, Callus, I have smelt blood like yours before, young one. My, one of my favorite creations is a clone of myself. But it didn't last very long. Cloning is a difficult process. Do you know who cloned you?
I'm Callus. I'm not a replica.
Ah. He smiles again, and he presses something on the tablet, and Smasher, you get a sudden burst of data. It's kind of like an update. Not exactly an update, but you now can like understand a lot of the different types of robots in this factory specifically. But that's all you get from this data burst. And then he kind of tugs at the cord and takes it back from you. And he turns back to Callus and he says, don't worry about the words per se. Worry about yourself. You see, clone, replica, it doesn't matter. You are you. You are Callus. That is pretty clear. I made the mistake of trying too hard to make what I created be me. And as a result, it died. That is... Your situation currently is preferable for you because you don't know who or what cloned you. All you know is you. So, that should be all you should know.
It's not those words that concern me.
Callus, would not your numeric designation imply that you may be the 214th iteration of yourself? 13?
And that would mean there are 212 others.
That would not be impossible.
But
he's getting very visibly uncomfortable with the situation, his breath's getting a little bit more rapid in pace. And he's starting to get to that point of maybe a little mild panic attack going on.
Smasher turns around, kneels down in front of Callus.
Make a charisma saving throw, Callus.
This is gonna go well. Three, my lord.
Number 3, my lord.
You feel that panic coming, and then immediately it just dissolves as Cephas kind of gestures to you, and a flash happens in his eyes, and you realize he just cast calm emotions on you.
hey, I tried to do that to someone earlier.
You hear me say from the back, technically infinite. And I just kind of like say it under my breath. Like I just don't help at all. Situation.
But if...
Are you okay, Callus?
I'm scared.
Let him think logically on the subject, because I have a feeling you're an intelligent individual, Callus. That is your name, correct?
It's what was given to me, yes.
Callus. Excellent.
So
Now-
if... Well, clone. If I'm 213 and there is a 214, that means whoever made me was continuing. That I wasn't complete. And if your incomplete versions didn't last long, that means I don't
He
have
nods
long.
for a moment.
What's gonna happen to me?
He reaches out one of his hand and he asks, place your hand in mine. Let me see, medically speaking, how well you are doing. His hand is very cold to the touch, by the way, like
Don't
there's no
even flinch.
circulation.
Not the first time.
Perfect. You feel, despite the cold hand, you feel a warmth flow through your body. And he lets go of your hand. And he leans back and he goes, there's always a chance for everyone that's alive.
What kind?
It won't be easy.
Nothing ever is. My home was
Never.
destroyed by a bunch of stupid goblins. Stupid goblins. They shouldn't have been able. Anyway. You're Cephas. You made him. We should be talking about that, not me. We'll figure that out later. I want to know what's
True.
wrong with Smasher. I've noticed for a time that there's something not quite right. But he's Smasher, though. He's perfect the way he is.
He takes that tablet that he was working with, and he slides it over to you, Callus. And you can see on it it looks like shining paper that gives a bunch of details. And right now is a circulating, like a turning form of Smasher's body. And there's different text that keeps popping up, and it's all in Primordial, so you can speak it. Primordial being like short, very precise, exact. And you can tell that everything is operating within proper parameters, sans his memory.
This is also terrible timing, but I figured we'd be on break by now, and I have food waiting right outside for me.
Yeah, actually, should we
this
go
is good.
quickly on break?
This is
Yeah,
terrible timing.
This is because I
Yeah,
have
terrible
to go
timing.
to the bathroom too.
Oh,
so
then it might be brilliant timing for us as human beings, but terrible timing for storyline-wise.
Exactly.
that's all right.
Yes,
I have
we're gonna
family
go on
that
break,
just walked
everyone.
in.
We're gonna
Let's
go.
do 10.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Necessity's called.
We're humans. We're only human, after all.
That's a good song. Hello.
He said 3, 2, 1 chat. Like that's supposed to make us like just start talking, folks. Anyway, I love calling out Murray on his weird shit.
I do weird shit every time we start going live. I never say one. I always say something else.
Pineapple.
That
Yeah.
was one, yeah.
All right. So where were we? Oh yeah. The tablet. You were looking at the tablet.
Yes.
And from what you can tell,
Circle symbols.
yeah, it is written in Primordial, which is strange because Primordial is an old ancient language that's been out of for a while, and it seems to indicate that Smasher physically is doing perfectly fine. The only error is in his memory banks, where there seems to have been it indicates damage, but unsure of what kind of damage.
Do you have a way to turn off his defense protocols?
Why would you want to turn off his defense protocols?
So we can fix whatever's going on.
Oh, that you're not going to be able to fix via getting inside. It's not something that can be fixed, actually. But I don't really see it as a problem. It's just memory. Everything moving forward is what Smasher is now.
I'm sorry, hold 2 seconds. My front door opened on its own. Give me a second.
Toby, control yourself. Don't be opening doors while we're in the middle of something.
Well, on that lovely
Sorry about
note
that.
of-
Yeah, no, I think the wind blew my door open because it wasn't quite close enough, but it just all of a sudden flew open. So I was shocked. I apologize.
Ghosts aren't real.
Toby.
You're good. Ghosts aren't real.
They're not. There are. I could get into it all day, folks.
Aliens,
not real.
that could have been aliens, and you don't know.
Well,
You can't
well,
tell me you know. Just saying. Let's move on.
We'll do a talk show sometime about stuff like that.
Why does this
you
feel
know
like
I
hate,
like-
laugh, love right now?
Exactly. Let's not get into
so yeah.
what I want to talk about.
That'll be next
So
week,
yeah.
Friday, everybody.
It's true. Where were we? Oh yeah, he was saying, yeah, there's no damage to Smasher himself. It's simply, it's like having amnesia, but not needing those memories.
Well, Smasher's my friend. Smasher, are you okay with things the way they are?
Am I missing anything significant?
No.
Then I see no problem.
Okay. Nothing's wrong.
You think I'm fine, right, Callus?
Yeah. You're the best friend I have.
Then I'm fine.
Smasher bends back over to let him, like, offer his space.
Cephas looks up at you, Callus, and he goes, "You asked for something when we first met. And judging from how the conversation on our way here went, you use samplings
A lot. Can I
of
have a
creatures."
sample?
Sure. He reaches behind him and comes back with what looks like a knife, and then proceeds to cut off his index finger. You don't see him react at all, despite the bleeding and what probably looked like a painful effect, because he just had to saw it off. But while he does so, he goes, I have no problem whatsoever letting someone else have a sample of me. And he provides with you provides you the finger.
I'll take a
Yuck.
finger.
Okay, mine don't grow back. Do yours?
He wiggles his fingers, and as he wiggles his fingers, you see a bone suddenly shoot up. Once, twice, and then again, and then like a red substance, veins, nerves, different stuff, muscles, all starts to just climb up until finally the skin seems to grow over it and a nail forms. And the whole time he just stares at you and smiles.
And then it paints itself black because he's goth like that.
It matches the rest of his fingers, like it's clear, right? It's like a regular nail, and then
Actually, his nails are painted black, but the one that grows back does not come back as black. It's clear.
Hang on,
That's
I need to actually make sure prestidigitation will do this. Can I just prestidigitate it black? Yes, I can. For an hour. I will prestidigitate it black for an hour.
Give him ample time to paint it.
He looks at it, admires it, smiles and nods.
You
Thank
got an hour.
So, what brought you lot to that factory?
Four-eyed cat.
I believe he's asking why we were there in the first place. And it was that we were following a series of leads.
Well, yes. But he just said the first one, which was right. That's what the thing called itself. Which would imply that this is not the first time that this thing's been seen by someone else.
That's a fair assumption.
Cephas leans forward and he goes, about 3.5 years ago, I found myself pulled from where I was and shoved here. It wasn't actually my will for this to happen. And in the process of this happening, I found out that it was done by one known as the First One. Now, normally my reaction to that would have been to kill him and leave. But I'm not gonna lie, I have quite thoroughly enjoyed being here. And here is, I think, where I will stay for a while. At which he seems to lean back and just get comfortable while smiling at you guys.
So, Smasher and myself. Deshane.
Smasher raises his hand.
Well, you got a question.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Deshane, were you pulled here by someone?
Roll an insight for my facial reaction when you say my name. I'm gonna roll what should I roll for that to hide my facial?
Deception?
Usually, yeah.
21.
13.
Okay, well, your character doesn't know this, but you do. I close my eyes because I have gone so far in this conversation without once saying my name or really saying anything at all about myself to this guy. So, what you don't see is me go, Yeah, I was pulled into this world.
Can I get insight on that?
Sure.
You gotta beat a 21, but go ahead.
Hey, look, I was just hoping for a nat 20. I really wanted to nat 20 notice that, and I was risking anything for it right then. I don't care
I'm
if I
risking
would
a
have
1 for this.
I was risking a 1 just because I wanted to try for a nat 20. Insight is 13.
Hey,
Same.
Hey!
Not great, but I wanted that nat 20 so bad.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, yeah. He smiles, and then he reaches across the table and picks up that pad he had sent over to you, and starts flipping through it. And he goes, "Well, I can assist you by sending you back to Barovia and giving you something in case you needed assistance. However,
What if we don't want to go back to Barovia?
where would you rather go?"
We need to find Mixing X. Then from there we'll move forward.
Smasher, before I say what I think.
Seem to have a question there, Smasher.
Just one, sir. Why was I abandoned?
Oh, I wouldn't exactly say you were abandoned. More accurately put, I lost.
How'd you lose him?
Well, sometimes it's not wise to go down the path of maniacal dictator. Just remember that, in case you do make it, Callus.
I say, most of the time it's not a hard decision. Yeah, I say, most of the time it's not a hard decision.
Stirring daggers. Toothpick in his mouth.
Staring quizzically.
Cephas is looking at the table, seems to be not really looking at anything, but he does smile knowingly and nods and then says, "Well, Deshane, now that I know your name, you would think that. But how many vampires have you met?"
As many as I've killed.
Precisely.
I give him, like, there's a slight, like, twinge in the side of my mouth.
So you need to find your friend Mixinix.
Indeed.
He looks back
That would
at
be
the
our first
pad.
priority.
These
So
beats. Oh, shit.
There are some
Really,
sick
Syrinscape did really well today.
Yeah. He flips through a couple pages on the pad and then he nods and he says, "You've got about 8 hours, and then I can print you a key you can use to get from here to that factory where the collector found you, and then use from that factory to get back to Barovia."
Can we go
Like the key we saw the collector use?
Yes.
He used a key?
A very useful key. Seemed to form the keyhole.
Do you have an all-purpose tool?
I do.
Can I have it?
And he stands up and walks to the door again, and he goes, "You are all more than welcome to rest here while the key is being made. I will go gather you one of my all-purpose tools, Callus, and be right back."
I have a quick question before you go. Before you make that key, can you make it guide us anywhere else?
He thinks for a moment, and smiles and he goes, perhaps you will be able to unlock the technology and arcana I put into this key, Callus, so that you might do that yourself. But I'm not particularly willing to do that for just anyone. And then he walks out the door.
But I'm not just anyone.
But
I'm
Father, I'm your
214 copies of someone.
Alice is having a horrible revelation right now, everyone.
And he's slowly climbing down Smasher, going to whatever might be a dining table, a coffee table, or whatever, and setting up his alchemy kit.
And the table that Cephas had been sitting at is a perfect place for that.
Smasher kind of walks over to the table. He's moving a little less like rigidly now. Its motions seem a little bit more fluid. He's kind of has a sway to his gait now, as opposed to kind of up and down. That was kind of his life. And walks over to the table and kind of see Callus's down, hearing that literally right in the back of his ear before he climbs down.
Alice, seems that you're having some problems, bud.
You said bud and it threw me off. I was, oh.
I don't know what I like about the idea of being a copy of someone else.
Or believe I'm a copy of someone else.
We're all copies, I say, as I'm rolling up another cigarette.
This third one.
You're not a copy of someone else. You're your own design. For you,
I say this while tapping on your chest. And
your mark of 393 means that you are designation and design 393. I make
Doesn't that
different
mean the same
potions.
for you?
No.
For
For me,
your...
it's the same design.
Did you ever meet another number?
One. He was different. He was 196. Met him
Well, it
twice.
seems to be reasonable to believe that the other numbers may be different as well then.
I suppose so, yeah. But don't you ask yourself, why were you created? If I'm just a designation and I was made by someone, why was I made?
So at that point, and it's been going through my mind, so it had to have been going through his recently. Why I made has been kind of a thing that's been hanging out in the back of his head. So I think when you say, why are you made? Do you ever think about that? I probably kind of shut down and freeze for a minute and just kind of sit there and I'm loading and just hold on. So like, just for the immediate future, I'm just sitting there and I come back.
processing wheels. While that's happening, I look over at Deshane.
You said we're all just copies. Does that mean you have a number 2?
I'm gonna look at Callus and then over at the loading eyes Smasher, and I'm gonna say, listen to me, both of you.
He's processing. He'll hear it, but he won't respond.
As soon as I hear listen to me, just blink, 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 and I'm just like focused back in. Yeah.
When I say there are infinite versions of you, I mean it. Countless. There are other worlds than these, some so similar that you couldn't even tell the difference between them. But it doesn't matter. This is the first rule of being a gunslinger. Let go the things you can't control. The sooner you learn that, the better. Those who meddle and try and figure out the will of Ka end up dooming themselves.
How do we
And then
know
I
if
light
we're
my
meddling
cigarette.
with the thing of Ka?
Before you can light it, I prestidigitate it to be lit.
Okay, I stop the match and then I back in and I smoke my cigarette. And I say, remember the face of your father. And what I mean by that is, look into yourself.
No, it's good. Because so far, Smasher just met the face of his father. And I don't know mine.
Doesn't matter. I say, and then I lean back and I tilt my hat over my eyes and continue to smoke my cigarette as I take a rest.
Smasher narrows his eyes at Deshane as he kind of leans back and exits the conversation once again at his own, just on his own timing, and looks back at Callus.
Shane is right, Callus. Why I was made doesn't really matter as much as what my current objective is. If that makes sense.
It does. I mean, the objective you were made to be put in doesn't exist anymore. You faced that, and now you're where you are now. You're your own person. You don't know anything that happened to you. My home was destroyed. I had to find a new one, and with it a new objective. But that's not what bothers me. I don't want to die.
Say that as I continue making whatever alchemy kit is in front of me.
Not really knowing how to deal and I can't imagine that Smasher would be in touch with himself enough to be able to start here and conceptualizing death and the idea of fearing death and whatnot, especially being made to be a war tool. Because there are more to replace him. That's kind of the idea. So I think he just kind of gets down into that knee position, sitting probably looking a little bit more comfortable, and just kind of pats Callus on the back, just kind of hangs out there, lets him do his thing, offers his hands up if he needs anything held.
This would be the first time since you've met Callus that he's not given you anything to help him with his alchemy stuff.
Alright. You all gonna take a rest then?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm
You are gonna
staying
get
up.
full.
Yeah, I'm taking first watch though, just to watch over my boys. They're going through an emotional moment in their arcs.
We are going through a crisis here.
It's one of those moments. You do get full. When that 8 hours comes up that that Cephas had mentioned, nothing happens. Except at one point in time, Deshane, another robot comes in, not the collector, and this one is it seems to move a little more dexterously, and it has glowing blue eyes, kind of like how Smashers glow blue. And what it does is it comes in, goes over to the ice box, opens it, and pulls out a couple of those bottles, closes the ice box, looks over at you and sees that you're still awake, shrugs and says, "He's got a thing for Dr. Pepper," and then leaves.
Okay, I just let it happen, thinking that Dr. Pepper kind of tastes like sarsaparilla.
Depends on where you're from.
Really?
Yeah, I think Smasher doesn't try to intervene either. Like, I mean, he's just sitting there in sentry mode, more or less. So just kind of watches it curiously, goes and drinks, and then thinks back to having processed some of that earlier, and how much he enjoyed the texture of the glass crunching.
Yeah. Then the hours comes up, and Callus, you will wake up all refreshed and everything. You guys have had a nice long rest.
Hit that button.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cephas will walk back in. He's dangling from a chain, a key. It looks a little heavy, but it's like the Collector's. It's got a bunch of gears all connected to it, and you can see some of these gears can be manually moved. And then he will hand it out to you, Deshane. And he will say...
Sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to... My health just fucked up for no reason on my character sheet once again.
What?
I've been doing it right on this, and it just messed up my health once again. I don't understand. Anyway, folks, I got it. I got it. I think it's me. I think it's
You just
you.
unclick the reset max HP when you click it. Like, you have to unclick that button for it to not screw up.
Anyway, ask me that question. I'm not gonna give a shit about my... Continue.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I remember.
He offers you this key hanging from a chain, and he says to you, "This will take you through any door that has a lock to the door at that factory that you walked through, and then from that door to any door you know in Barovia that has a lock." And then he hands you the key.
Okay, I take the key, put it over my neck, and
then
I
he
get in tip of my hat.
Yeah, and he turns to you, Callus, and you see he's holding an old notebook, leather bound. It looks like it hasn't been opened in a while. And he hands it over to you, and he says, "This is all of my research when I dabbled in cloning. Maybe you can make something of it."
I open it up. What language is it in?
This is in... It's not exactly common. You can read it because it is common enough, but you can tell that wherever this came from, it's not a world you've ever been in, because there's a lot of mechanical designs involved. It looks like Cephas had used a lot of steam engines and other such things to get results.
Thanks. I have
He
one
nods.
last question for you.
Of course.
Well, technically two, but same premise. Smasher's model. How long do they typically last?
Yeah, looks over at Smasher and smiles, and he says, "This one has long surpassed his expiration date."
You hear that, Smasher? You're one of a kind. What about mine?
He looks down at you, and he kind of looks sad for a moment. One should never know when they will die. But approximately, Callus, you have time. Use it.
I walk over and pat him on probably the upper thigh.
Thanks for trying.
He
And I
nods.
walk towards the door.
Having had the conversation with Callus the night before about having met my father, Smasher kind of gestures to Cephas.
Father? When exactly was I supposed to expire?
Deepest chuckles and he goes, I went on a campaign some time ago. I can't even remember. Time flows very strangely when you're as old as I am, unfortunately, so sometimes the years fade and you forget. But essentially, I would say you should have expired about 100 years ago.
I think while he would only, I can only imagine like the joke of smoke coming out of him, almost like realistically, just sitting here and going like, wait, what? 100 years? That's a really long time. I barely remember like yesterday, my guy, and just having that kind of conflict of like, I have so many more questions for you immediately that I cannot ask. Like, we do not have time for this shit. I think Smasher, kind of in a confused state, doesn't really have, like, I mean, too much he can ask.
Can we come back?
Oh yes, that key will give you the ability to come back to this door. And he points at the door right in front of you guys, actually.
Alright, so this isn't goodbye.
No. If I'm going to be stuck in the first one's version of Ravenloft, then I'm going to play my game. And he's just going to have to deal with it.
Thank you for all your help.
Of course. And I will forewarn you guys, other versions of me, like myself in the past, are not often good. So stay safe.
Well, if what you're saying is right, then other versions of me experimented on me, so to each their own.
He actually looks over at you, Callus, and you almost get this tinge of a spark in his eye. And then you actually get a voice in your head.
Ooh.
And I'm going to shoot you this as a message.
Oh. I'm a player and I'm getting a whisper. I'm not sending whispers to people. I'm getting one. I'm a little terrified.
Be afraid. Be
Be
very,
very afraid.
Yes, very afraid.
I love how affected you both are by this episode, and I'm just
I
like,
know.
and
Deshane will have his
Hey,
time.
so much.
Deshane will have his time.
I mean, admittedly, for like Smasher, this is a little bit of a long time running. I've been like a tag along a lot of this time, kind of having a very minor like side role in like kind of the boys robot growth thing, which, and I've enjoyed that role a lot, but it's a lot more fun now having like some form of upgrade where I can emote a little bit more and like play around with all of that. So this will be nice to be able to speak like clearly.
It's exciting.
Yeah, and then he lets a lot of you leave.
I go down and gesture to Callus to be able to get him on my back.
For a second, he doesn't respond. He stands still, a little lost in space, and
Yeah, okay. It's good to know.
he climbs up.
I'll let you guys go first, and then I go
Pat his back.
last.
Go.
You gonna use the key?
Yeah, you have the key, bud.
Yeah, I open it up, and I open the door and let them walk through first with my hand on the knob.
When you use the key, by the way, when you look down at it, you'll see that the gears are configured in. It's kind of like 3 moons orbiting a planet. They're configured in a way that's kind of forming a triangle right now. And then you open the door, and you guys can see that on the other side is the factory you actually walked from. Completely quiet now.
Okay, I let them walk through, and then I follow. If he's got anything to say to me, he's got about 0.2 seconds before I walk through that door.
As you are leaving Deshane, he does say, though there are, Deshane, a few versions of myself very similar to you. Should they find you, they would make good allies. We'll
see. I say as I'm literally like walking through and shutting the door behind me. He hears the lock like kink.
Edge Lord, I am an Edge Lord.
Alright, so when you lift,
Lord,
when you lift the,
yeah, you're right.
When you lift the key and look down at it again, you see those 3 gears shift suddenly so that they turn upside down.
Okay, I put the necklace back around my neck, tuck it underneath my handkerchief, my red handkerchief that is around my neck, and yeah, it is out of sight.
Prestidigitation. You used to be a brighter red.
All right, you guys are back in the.
That's the look I gave you.
You guys are back in the factory. What will you be doing now?
If I'm Mixie. What do you call Mixie? It's been a while. It's been hours.
It's been a while.
Been
About
a while.
8 to 10 hours now.
Yeah.
I say we have to find Mixie. Did I see when she dropped down? Was I close enough to see when that thing opened up?
Yeah, there was snow. Wherever she landed, there was snow.
I'm gonna say either she's on a level of the tower that has snow or she's outside. Either way, we have to keep moving forward.
Now that we have a key that'll take us to anywhere we know in Barovia, can't we get into any one of the doors that we saw?
Let's go to the
We
end.
could. Let's move. I say. And I'm like, you hear click, 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 click on my guns to make sure they're all like loaded as I'm like getting ready to go.
As you're turning, you'd see me kind of pull out this new potion that looks different from the others. It's 2 liquids that don't quite combine together, swirling around themselves.
What's this one?
This one's what I get for being level 5, y'all.
All right. So you guys are gonna. How are you gonna leave? Because you have that key.
Yep, we're gonna go to the door.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna, as I look at the key, I'm gonna think in my mind, pretty much find Mixie next. If she's in an area that I know, then I'm just gonna be like, whichever area that is, and then I'm gonna wait for it to shift shapes and open up the door.
All right. As you're looking down at it, you actually do, and Callus and Smasher, both of you will also notice this, but you feel an almost pull, and when I say notice this pull comes for you guys too, towards the key. And then it kind of seems to glow slightly. And then those 3 gears start to shift. 2 of them get closer together, and then one of them slides down to the bottom. So there's one here, and then another one right next to it, and then there's one right at the bottom, all circling the bigger gear.
Okay.
Push in,
Shift,
open up.
Shift. Huh.
Yeah, all right. When you open the door, it does actually lead to right outside the tower.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the door open, and I'm gonna say, "You two, see if Mexi Nix is out there. See if you can find a sign. I'm not closing this door."
What's the weather like in Barovia around the tower right now?
At the moment, the weather is forecast for today. It is ever so slightly snowing. Not enough to cover up any tracks at the moment, but enough that if you took too long, it would soon disappear. But it looks like it just started snowing.
Is Callus, you still on my back?
So, after that, after Deshane says that, I'm actually hopping off and drinking said potion in my hands. It's got 2 different creatures in it. One of them's direwolf, which is the one I want. We'll see what happens. The other one is giant spider. Giant wolf spider.
Oh, yeah.
So, there is a 50% chance I will turn into one or the other. Higher is spider, lower is wolf.
Wolf.
I rolled a 19, so I jump off and turn into a giant spider. Sit there clacking to myself and shift back. And... Not the one I wanted. Hang on. And then turn into a wolf.
Nice.
I would like to do a perception check.
Chance.
I wanted to say chance,
Perception
but then
chance.
thought halfway through
Chance.
check instead of chance.
Chance.
And said chance. Check to see if I can smell Mixie Nix. And seeing as I am a
Add
wolf right now,
advantage.
I have keen sense, so add advantage.
Yep.
Oh, thank the heavens. Hopefully. Fuck you, die.
It's a change die.
I
All right, get
already threw
yourself
one in jail.
Get yourself some master dice, some metal black official D&D dice that just roll. No, I don't want to see that gold metal shit. I want to see D&D official with the stamp on
The
it.
stamp of
folks.
approval.
This shit rolls. It rolls like maybe under 10. 1 out of every 10 times.
No,
So-
it's the DM's curse. It's the DM's curse. Whenever we actually play at any point, eventually there are days where we just roll permanently below 10.
Yep.
Or
Can't get above
against
it.
our will,
That's
against our
generally my
favor.
life.
That is going to be a 9. Because I rolled a
9.
6. And as a wolf, my perception is +3. It's
Right,
as a
so
human as
time.
as Callus as well, so either way, +3.
It's hard to tell. You can tell she's been in the area very recently, though. And as you're sniffing about, it takes about 5 minutes for you to do this, but you do find a spot where the snow has covered up several stones that all point northward.
I come up. As he comes out, I'm slowly following him out and just kind of looking around. So as soon as he starts getting all like riled up, I'll come running up behind him and just kind of do the kneel and be like,
What do you got, boy?
Did we fall down a well?
Who's a good girl, Lassie? Who's a good girl?
I do
hey,
that.
Wait a minute.
Boy. I point forward and like do a point gesture with one paw forward and just straight tail straight out back.
Yep. The point with the note. Yes.
Pointing with my nose and palms. Point.
Shane, I think she's this way.
Okay. Having the key around my neck as before, I let that door shut behind me, and I just walk forward, not giving a fuck about where we were just at. And
Do you still look behind him, Smasher? As he closes the door?
Yeah, I imagine I'm probably looking at him.
All right, when you see the door close, it's really weird to fully explain how it looks, but you see the door closing like a normal door on the factory side, but on the side of which you guys are at, because of how the tower door works, it shuts closed sideways, leaving a slit, kind of like how it had originally opened for you guys. So it's it doesn't make any sense, essentially, how you see the doors closing. But the doors are closed.
I'm Smasher mumbles under his breath.
Man, physics is weird.
That's not where he.
You have no idea, I say as I walk past you, continuing in the direction.
I follow.
Guiding the way, sniffing the ground, looking for Mixie Nix's scent.
You do actually catch her scent after a little bit. Now that you know she's heading northward. She's a little gnome on little feetsies. But from what you can tell, she was deposited. She looked for a way back into the tower. The way didn't actually get provided for her. The tower didn't let her back in. So she thought, well, they know I wanted to go north. And once they get out of the tower, they will know to go north. So I'm going to start heading north. And that's what she did. And she clearly started pretty soon after you guys finished your fight with the Illithid, actually. So she's been going for about 10 hours now.
Woofda. We have got ground to make.
Right. I would like fan art drawn up of the Shane and Smasher in like hunting outfits, and a Callus up front doing the whole sniff up on the ground. Be like, we're hunting.
But not as a wolf, but
we're
as
hunting
Callus
a
just
mixing,
sniffing the
a
ground.
Wixie Nix.
Yeah, we're in orange vests for absolutely no reason. Anyway,
Wixie Nix has like a bunny rabbit far in the distance.
Exactly.
That'd be good. I'm just saying fan art. Anyhow,
If I want to have some RP time with Callus, like how long is it going to take us to find Mixie Nex?
It'll take a hot minute. We will finish the session before you guys fully catch up to her, but we obviously have some time before then. So
yeah, let's do some search RP in here, because I feel like this is the time for the boys to get some relationship growth right here.
It's time, everybody.
It's time. So we're searching. You're sniffing
heading
it
north.
out, Callus.
If you ever walk up next to me, I just lean up and lick you all across the face. Because I'm about 5.5 feet tall right now as a dire
Yeah,
wolf.
me knowing you're a young boy, you see me go. Yeah, just kind of like. And my scruff is growing in. What was a like 5 o'clock shadow is starting to get a little bit of growth to it. But yeah, we continue to follow you. Are we gonna get to like an area of rest before we find Mexinix?
Callus, actually, you'll notice as you're going, you start to catch on some scents that you don't like. I bet you can tell me what they are.
Werewolf?
No. You like this a little less than you like werewolves, actually, because they destroyed things.
Goblin?
Yep.
Ah, crap. I will change into a little boy form just long enough to look at Deshane and say, there are goblins nearby. Keep your eye open. They're shifty little bastards and they don't care about the living. I hate goblins.
I think ever so slightly. Neither do I. And I continue forward with eyes open.
Smasher, when they're watching them have this exchange in front of them, pulls out his axe and just kind of readies it in his hands to walk behind you guys, kind of keeping his head on a literal swivel.
Back into wolfy form, sniffing out. Basically, until we make camp, I'm staying as a wolf, following the trail.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys will go for the rest of the day, essentially. There is a period, though, I need all of you to make perception rolls for me.
Ah, crappy dappy do. Can I use my nose?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Doo-doo. That roll was a doo-doo. Would you say it was a perception?
Perception. Yeah, perception.
That would be an 11.
10 for Deshane.
Yep.
Really?
10.
I rolled a 9.
Holy shit.
I got a 12.
Yeah, you got better than me. I was just...
So 10, 11, 12? Really, our numbers are 10, 11, and 12?
Yeah.
10, 11, and 12.
11, 12.
That was
my passive is 14. Fuck.
You know, funny enough, I thought you guys were going to see this, but you didn't.
No, of course not. My passive is 13. Why did I just do passive?
Because I asked you to roll it.
It's funner to roll.
It is, actually.
Yeah, in this case, it would have needed a roll for different reasons. Yeah, you guys don't notice specifically anything going on, but Callus, you do definitely continue to smell goblin. And sometimes it smells closer than normal.
Does Deshane do you have your guns out?
They're the things that keep them in place. There's leather snap things have been unsnapped, which is the universal sign of I can grab my gun at any moment and pull it out and blow someone's brains out.
I am going
to... It's a ready to action.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tap, like, while we're going along, just kind of gently nuzzle Smasher for a second to grab his attention, and then look over at your gun that's not enchanted, Deshane.
Mm-hmm.
Nuzzle it as an arcane symbol appears near the hammer. It is now enchanted. Both of your guns have my infusions on it. So you don't need to use ammo anymore.
Yeah, you see there's like a small, like, in the side of my lip. It's like 1, and then 2, and then... Yeah, exactly, and I'm just like...
And you hear me go... and continue going.
Right. The sun starts to set, and you guys find a nice little recess in a hill. You actually get a break in the forest as well that gives you a nice good sight of what looks like a mountain range that you're coming up to. And as you're looking at this mountain range, all of you are going to notice this, but what looks like a dragon flies up over it and then dives back down behind it. And it's actually quite a bit out there, so you'd be looking forward more than up. Definitely not close enough for the dragon to notice you, but close enough for you to see the dragon.
That can't be good.
It's my camp. We're losing daylight.
The spot you found, by the way, nestles really perfectly in this little hill area where you can literally stick a fire and it won't be seen anywhere unless they are standing on a ridge right above you.
Can't we do that? Not like it's gonna matter after the lesson I'm about to teach the boys once we get settled. Yeah, we set up camp.
And part of the procedures, setting up camp, 10-minute ritual cast, alarm.
Perfect.
And while he's, when we have firewood gathered, prestidigitation on fire, alchemicat coming out, making a new potion.
Okay, you see me, as you're setting that up, you see me walk about 20 yards, and I'm like setting like pieces of wood up, standing up on this rock, like 20 meters away, and then I walk back. And you see me check both the guns.
I might need to take one of them away for just a second, but I'll put it back
Well, you
afterwards.
both are gonna use them.
The
I say.
guns?
Yes.
I already know how to use a gun.
Yeah. Do you? I say. And I like point down at the ground like that to the spots next to me. And I motion for both of you to walk up next to me.
Oh boy.
I imagine Smasher was like doing the actual physical setup of like tents and like gathering wood. So like he was probably like half bent over, like gathering a bunch of wood, and just kind of looks over and sees the gesture and just kind of goes, drops the wood and walks over.
I wait for them to stand next to me. You see me as I draw my weapons, there's like a quick flourish, and then they're both handle out to both of you at different heights. The one to my left is lower to Callus, and the one to my right is higher.
Wow.
Pick it up my left hand because I'm just on his left side there. So I'm ambidextrous, so I'll just pick it up with my left hand and kind of hold on to it, examine it. Like, I mean, I've seen you use them, so I kind of know how they work, but like, it's just kind of like, what the hell is this thing?
Okay, I'm just gonna say, knock the targets over, one shot at a time.
What targets? Oh, the sticks.
I point to the the pieces of wood that I have stacked up in an area.
Smasher sighs again, and then goes into a rage. So eyes immediately red.
I just have to hit the target right.
One shot at a time.
I reckless attack.
Nice.
However the DM wants to do this, I don't know how you...
I rolled a 15.
20 yards.
So I don't know. It's 15, and my dex
Plus
is...
2. Because your dex is +2.
Oh, yeah, so 7.
Nice. 17. That's pretty good. You hit it. You do take 2 bullets to do it.
That's fine. It's magical. It doesn't need bullets.
Mhm.
I have 2 attacks. I have 2 attacks, so
Just one shot at a time, boys. Both of you.
Yeah, the whole reckless attack used 2 shots for the 1 attack.
He goes.
yeah. Well, and it was a 9, so accurate because it was a 9 and a 15 that I rolled. So accurate.
Nice.
The joys of repeating shots. Doesn't actually use ammunition. We will never have to reload.
Oh, hold on. I have to see what happens. One second. We have to know.
Oh, the rage.
Oh yeah, that's right. The camp explodes behind you guys.
This is one of my favorites. An intangible spirit, which looks like a pixie, appears within 5 feet of one creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of your turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 force damage. Until your rage ends, you can use this effect again at will for a bonus action. So
How do you want to do this, DM? Because I don't.
Scratch that. When I go into a rage, the pixie, you said it's in 20 feet of me, this target. I put the pixie behind the thing and I fucking explode it when I go to shoot at it. Like I fucking obliterate anything near this one space.
Like and several of the wood logs that you set up have just been obliterated.
Okay, I kind of like close my eyes, and I go.
How far are they from us?
They're about 20
yards.
20 feet.
20 yards.
20 yards. So
20
that's
yards.
60 feet. Okay,
Yeah, 60
never mind.
feet.
Oh dear. I'm trying to think of something else I could do, but nope. I will look at it and be like, okay. Just hold up the gun and pew.
Now you are technically proficient in firearms.
I am proficient in firearms.
So this is at a +6.
That's a natural 19, so 25.
Nice. Deshane, you notice with how accurate Callus was at shooting, he splits that log so perfectly down the center with one shot that you know he just perfectly fired at a knot that had weakened the log.
Okay. I say out loud, I register, but I don't acknowledge. And I say out loud, what happens when you fire a bullet? Asking a question to both of them. As if I like a military drill sergeant expecting an answer from both of them.
Seems like an explosion creates some sort of arrow.
I wait.
Does it feel?
I wait for Callus.
It depends. If you're using the bullets that that cop gave you, then an alchemical response goes to the kinetic energy turning into potential energy, and extra projectile sending out a metal object from the tube cylinder out of it to the enemy that you're shooting at. But with these, it conglomerates the magical powers I've imbued inside the weapons and shoots an arcane bolt towards them.
Okay. You see a grin poke on both sides of my mouth, both of you do. And I say, fire again. And I expect 2 shots, boys.
Just for
I'll
funsies.
fire without a reckless this time.
No, hang on, actually. I need a roll to see if I'm gonna do this. I don't. Okay.
That would be a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Nice.
laddie.
This time, Smasher, just like with what Callus had done, he follows the same kind of procedures, and he too strikes a knot that splits his wood strictly down the center. Except not just down the center, but pretty much every which way, shattering the log.
Callus.
I rolled a 10 for a total of 16.
Still hit the log. Not quite as impressive as the last time, but it still very easily connects, and the log definitely gets destroyed.
I say, given all your knowledge about how bullets work, can either of you predict what it's going to do?
Given the right wind measurements, climate control. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could.
Are you sure? What if a particular round you have has slightly less gunpowder in it? What if there's a deformation in the bullet? What if something's caught in your barrel? That's life. That's all of this.
Cut.
You cannot predict it.
Inappropriately look down the barrel and like,
Not with these bullets. They're all the same.
I as you point towards your head, I grab the barrel and I pull it away. And I say, either way, can you ever truly predict what's going to happen when you pull that?
No. Actually, that's a
That's
really
life.
fair point.
And I look at both of them and I say, if we're going to keep going forward, if you're going to be my quartet, you need to understand this above all other things. You cannot predict anything. Be open and be ready. And you'll be gunslingers yet, I say. And I turn around as I grab both the pistols from your hands and I back in the holsters and walk away towards the fire.
before you grab it from my hand, it's already in your holster.
Oh,
And
I like that.
As you're walking away, you hear me say,
Yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna be hurt. But in the end, we'll still be standing.
I completely ignore. The lesson was over as soon as I stopped talking, and anything was not worth my time.
I'll be perfectly honest, the last part of the speech probably went over Smasher's head because after that log just got obliterated from that bullet, he's just sitting there going normally I have to be right here to blow things up. I just did that at distance. I have gears turning now. Maybe range is for me. Maybe not being able to be immediately hit right in something's face and being able to destroy that. Maybe that's for me. Then as soon as it got snatched out, I was just like, "Aw," like that "aw" feeling. That was kind of nice.
seeing the look on his face, and
Yeah, me too, buddy. I kind of miss using one of those too.
oh well. Making a potion.
I come out of rage.
As you guys are
Gunslinger's lesson done.
As you guys are reapproaching the fire, I need you all to make perception rolls.
Oh, crap.
If you'd like, you can take your passive.
I won't.
Nat
because
1,
that's a
baby.
21.
Can I take my passive investigation?
Wouldn't be actively investigating this.
No, I'm not actively investigating this. This is fair, actually. I am distracted right now. Why do I bother rolling? Okay, this is a third die. Third die.
You also
Right.
get a 1.
No, it's a 5 for a total of 8.
Okay, well, at least it's not a 1. Smasher, you
It's
feel
true.
a chill run down your spine.
Yikes.
Or where you would have one. Yeah.
Shit's cumulative.
Deshane, you're the only one who's going to notice this. As you turn around and head back for the camp, you do see in the distance, just out of the firelight, several what look like light shining off of eyes, looking at you guys, that very quickly disappear into the underbrush the moment you turn around and see them.
Okay. I am going to say out loud, loud enough to roll an intimidation roll. Well, if you all have a plan, then why don't we get this party started? I say, and I pull out both of my guns, and you hear a kink as they click back.
Ken, real quick question.
Go ahead.
We've seen Deshane do this before. We know he does this kind of intimidation stuff. Would either Smasher or myself be able to catch on to what he's doing and hear what he's doing?
Oh, Callus for sure, because you're smart. You're intelligent.
Immediately turn into a giant wolf spider and station up right behind him and do that guttural little...
Do I get advantage? Do I get advantage?
Yeah, I would hope that I get some form of clue at some point with all this.
Yeah. Actually, Smasher, you haven't even left rage yet. As you're about to drop it, you see Callus turn into a spider.
I'm gonna use an unarmed strike on myself.
Yeah.
And just do this number for however much damage I need.
1 point of damage. That's good enough.
24.
24? Okay, there you go. You actually hear an audible number of squeals and the sound of something small, several something smalls, running away from the location.
I uncock my pistols and I reholster them and I sit next to the fire.
Right after you reholster them, I turn into a boy and grab your hand and...
I've got an alarm spell that's gonna wake us all up if they enter within 10 feet of us, so... I think we'll be okay.
Good job, I say. And then I look down at you and I say, get some rest.
Smasher looks at both of you and goes,
What the hell was that all about?
I don't know, ask him.
I go back to playing with my chemicals.
I sit down next to the fire and I just kind of say, there are people in the bush, I say, as I'm like getting my stuff ready for the night. I'm like rolling out my bed and stuff. I really have to go.
Smasher's eyes go.
I really have to go. I'm sorry.
I want to wait for him to come back before I continue what I want to say.
Narrowing eyes. While he's gone, everybody, why don't you take a listen to what's going on in the backgrounds? Those wonderful clickings of the birds and the insects and the grounds around us as we traverse the snowy grounds of northern Barovia. Now that we're out of the tower, there are wonderful little easy soundscape sounds that I can actually click on without having to manage really massively, because I still haven't made my own playlists yet. But hey, Syrinscape, everybody, it's awesome.
Awesome.
I said all that too fast. He's not done peeing yet. Oh dear.
Okay, so try to do the entire promo again before he gets back.
Okay. Hey there, everybody. While he's gone, why don't you take a hit and listen? Okay, we're done.
Okay, we're good. So
boys.
So it's Shane's like kind of like starts like working with his tobacco again and whatnot. Smasher's eyes narrow.
Be more aloof, Deshane. Really, be more aloof.
And then like walks away and just kind of like walks over to wherever Callus is with his thing and just kind of sits down next to him.
Okay, I kind of like look up and I say, aloof.
Yeah, that's a new word.
And I've got this like dumb look on my face as if the connection between the words and the meaning are not there.
You hear a grinding noise that would be it would be the mechanical equivalent of like an exasperated just and then that's it, and I just look away from you.
That's hilarious.
I look at Callus with the same look of like,
I don't know. The best thing I've ever made of that kind has been about this big.
a loaf?
Oh. You mean the meaning of a loaf?
Huh?
I think you meant a loof.
we have this moment of who's on second. that comedy thing.
No,
watching
he's the catcher.
both of them do this, not knowing how to really explain aloof very well to either of these guys. I move into kind of century mode. My head starts just swiveling.
Well, it's not a loaf. It's aloof. It's not friendly or forthcoming. You know, cool and distant. You tend to be cool and distant all the time, so I'm used to it. But his programming seems to be fixed, so...
I look at Smasher and I say, sorry about my... And then I look at Callus and then back at Smasher, aloofness. And then I turn and finish up with what I need to do.
An eye kind of twitches for a second. And then continues turning.
All right, we are going to end there, everyone.
I love it when it's just the boys. It's such a good time.
Chaos.
God
Chaos.
damn it, that was
I think we had a
hilarious.
good day.
Chaos.
Where are you?
Yeah, but please
We don't
bring some
miss
structure to the
Chaos.
group. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, no.
That was good. Yep.
Oh, such a good episode.
Oh.
Can you believe? Can you believe I almost killed that fucking mind flayer with that fan? If he hadn't have succeeded on that strength check, it would have
If
just
I
been...
had kept Gust of Wind as a spell, I probably would have been able to force him into that fan, so...
Dude,
if
the
I had
dice
kept that
said
spell
that
as
you guys...
prepared.
Dude, the dice said that you guys needed to like we needed to actually face off of him, that you couldn't cheese his death. The dice were like, no.
The dice were like, nah.
Hey,
No, you have to do this for real, guys. No, none of this whole like we're just gonna
What?
throw him down a well.
This- this and that, edgelords, all right? Screw the dice. We
Screw the
decide
dice.
our own
How
fates.
dare they?
Screw the dice. I'm
Funny
gonna
enough,
turn that
I
fan on
love
with
you
a
all, guys.
gun.
I love all of you, all hundreds of you. Don't listen to my voice.
it was.
I
It was hilarious.
honestly had just assumed that the button was gonna explode and then we wouldn't have any use of it and we'd need it later or something. That's
yeah.
what I assumed was gonna happen. You were gonna like overcharge fucking your shot into it, do 90 damage to a light switch for no reason, and now the thing we need is fucking broken. That's what I was afraid of in that moment, by the way.
That's why I didn't use any trick shots for it. I was just like, I'm just gonna try and shoot it right on the button. Pew!
Good move too. It did, I mean, that thing did almost get him. In many cases, the dice did not want him to die.
I
did
only
have
had
to-
to roll one save against that thing, and it should have been at least 2 with the
Hey.
first round if I hadn't have done that.
It should have been
And
3,
Callus.
because there was one turn he had to spend his action to break the fan.
That's true.
So, very good call on that. But also, he saved so many times.
So many times.
So
Any-
many times.
Honestly,
Folks, before we get into the nitty gritty of this, better not talk fucking in-game shit while we're live.
Yup.
We do this from
Yeah.
time to time.
We do.
True.
Sometimes we've been up for 2 hours extra just talking to each other about
just
what
talking
the hell
about-
just happened.
Exactly.
you know, we'll have
Good
another
times,
show.
good times.
All right.
Oh,
That's it for tonight, everyone. We will see you tomorrow for Playing with Mutts. Some more
Should be
Valheim.
excitement.
It should
Fuck
be.
yeah.
We'll see what kind of screams end up happening.
Many screams. All the screams.
So many screams. Yeah.
So
We'll see you
many
then.
screams.
Anyway,
Waiting on you, Ethan. You're the one who always starts us off.
Or ends us.
what do you mean?
Or ends us.
us?
And come on.
Oh yeah,
you got
the
it.
bye, the big bye. Here we
Au
go,
revoir.
folks. Ready? Bye.
Bye.
The end may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. May peace follow you out. May you return for more giggles